College ball versus is brought to you by Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America.
Well, it's just a beautiful November late Saturday afternoon. We'll have light for about another hour, and then we get that Northern California cool air will kick in. You Arizonan, Glenn Parker, you. And now let's hear from a very special moment. The first words from Jahvid Best back here in Berkeley as we get down to Lewis Johnson on the sideline.
All right, thanks so much, Ted. Been a great reaction from the fans here to see you, and I know that your teammates were excited to see you on Wednesday when you walked through the training room. They know you're okay, a sign of relief. But what about the rest of the college football world that wants to know, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, yeah, it was an unfortunate incident that happened, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm just looking forward to getting back on the field. More of my guys.
It was 1 week ago at the end zone that's pretty close to us here, and you told me that you've looked at the tape. When you look back at it, the jump, the leap, the fall, what do you see?
I just tried to make a play and get in the end zone, and then unfortunately a guy clipped me. I lost my balance in the air and came down hard.
Jahvid, I know that the Cal Bear family has really rallied around you, but I believe you've also been getting a lot of a response and of support from around the country. Give us a sense of that, and what do you want to say to those folks?
It's been amazing. I mean, the amount of love and support I've been shown. I mean, people came to visit me in the ER. I'm getting mail every day. I just got a lot of love. I mean, I want to say thank you to my family, my friends, and all the fans around the world that have been showing me a lot of love.
All right, Jahvid, good luck with your recuperation. We know when the time is right, you'll be back on the field. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Ted.
All right, Lewis, well done, and great to hear from Jahvid Best, who wanted very much to let people know that he was okay. The word we got yesterday from Jeff Tedford, the California coach, about the moment was surreal. There was no question that that frightening moment was a severe emotional hit to the California team. He said it carried into Sunday, but by Monday he thinks the fact that Jahvid was okay, that his team was back on balance.
Yeah, and teams oftentimes respond very well to something like that. And Jeff Tedford, the thing you said, surreal, that's exactly what they're talking about, is when you see someone that's that important to your game go down, how do you respond? I have a feeling Cal will respond pretty darn well.
So Arizona with the white tops, the red pants, kicking off to the all-blue California Golden Bears. John Bonanno, strong-legged kicker. This will be Jeremy Ross for California. And good cover by Arizona. And first man down for Arizona as we look at our Craftsman tools for success.
Well, Arizona offensively has to stay on the field, win third downs, and keep grinding. Also, defensively, they have to stop the run. When you're on the road, stop the run, take the wind out of that team. California, they've got to change Nick Foles' launch points, make him uncomfortable. And the other thing they've got to do, they've got to win first down so that they can win third down.
And here's Kevin Riley, who was 13-5 as a starting quarterback at California. From the eye with Shane Vereen, the deep back. And the pitch right. And Vereen not able to get the corner. And run down out there by Huna Tuihalamaka, middle backer for the Wildcats. Kevin Riley Jr. from Portland. And the big number, and it's been not just this year, Glenn, but in his 3 years, the low interception number.
Yeah, you know, when you look at completion percentage, 55%, you'd like that higher. But he's not getting picked, so when he's throwing it, only his guy has a chance to catch it.
Shane Vereen, the deep back, Brian Holly, the fullback, on second down. Another try, Vereen. And stopped, not able to reach the 20-yard line. As you look at the freecreditreport.com starting lineup for California, they were hopeful they'll have more success up front today. Matt Summers-Gavin, redshirt freshman, missed the last 2 games. He's the tough guy up front for them.
Yeah, he brings in that toughness. And Shane Vereen, here's the guy that has to have this team on his shoulders.
And Vereen, a sophomore. Southern California had a 154-yard rushing game earlier at UCLA for Jeff Tedford, but now California facing its first third. They spread it out. 3 receivers left, 2 right, empty behind Riley. And he's got a man wide open up the middle. Good move by Jones. Marvin Jones, who's become the top receiver. He's evolved into that role during this year for California. Sophomore Marvin Jones on the catch. 20 yards, first down.
Well, you take a look here as we move along. It's about getting back on your step, throwing on the cut, and that's exactly what Marvin Jones does. He finds that little window behind Huna Tuihalamaka, and that's where the yardage come from.
So the Bears convert their first third down. They move it out to the 40. Vereen now is a single back. And Riley's going to play fake. Throwing on the boot, and it's a good hands catch. Marvin Jones, knowing he's going to get that stick. Went up, grabbed it, and held it across midfield. Now let's take a look at the Arizona defense. Ricky Elmore's the sack man to watch. 7.5 so far.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of them. He's a guy that is a high motor guy, Ricky Elmore. They've been very pleased with him all year. If you look at their defenders, Vuna Tulialamaka, very fast. Xavier Kelly, he brings a lot of experience to that defense. And in the backfield, the captain, Cam Nelson, Devin Ross, Trevor Wade, a couple of ball hawks.
CreditReport.com, Arizona starting lineup, and a defense that's played well. They're 11th best in the country against the run. Vereen here, and a little space for the first time. Previous play, 14-yard pass to Jones, and that'll be a 6-yard first down run by Shane Vereen.
Well, Andy Ludwig comes out. They get a couple of runs that don't gain much, but it gets that 8-in-the-box look for Arizona, thinking run. Then they hit play-action pass, and then they come back with the run, and this is when winning on first down is important. You go to 2nd and 4. That makes third down very winnable for your team.
And Jeff Tedford, who no longer calls the plays. He's called the plays twice and set 2 separate stints during his coaching tenure here at Cal. But Andy Ludwig, who I just mentioned, came from Utah this year, and he is the play caller. Vereen this time run down. And spins away and finally gets out close to the first down. Well, that was Sterling Lewis got through to the backfield and should have finished, but Vereen escaped.
Well, you see the strong lower body, that lower body strength of Vereen. I mean, this is a wrap-up. Tulialamaka misses. There's too many guys around him. If you're a defensive coordinator, you're very upset at this point. You go from a possible 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and short.
Right, but a minus play became a +3 for Vereen, and now it's 3rd and 1. 2 backs and 2 tight ends. Andy Ludwig said Cal would use a little bit more of this setup today than they have in the past. They try to power it. And Vereen looks to have enough. 35-yard line.
Yeah, they know when they go 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, Arizona is not going to put 9 guys in the box against them. They're going to play a pro style. Man up, 8 in the box. They know they will not go 9 in the box. And that gives them the edge.
It's interesting, Glenn, because the last 2 weeks, Cal has not run the ball well. Less than 100 yards rushing total in the 2 games. Here they've run it enough with Vereen to advance the ball. First down at the Arizona 35 on the first drive of the game. Vereen the single back. Ryan Boateng wide to the right. Corner blitz. Riley escapes. Escapes the second, but not a third. Got away from 2 men, and then Xavier Kelly finishes for his 2nd sack of the year.
Yeah, the initial pressure coming from Lolamana Mikaele, number 94. He gets around the left guard and gets good pressure. Now makes a dive, but Riley, looking downfield, can't see any color. And that's what it comes from. Great coverage downfield, good sack.
And Mark Stoops, the D coordinator for Arizona, dialed up a little safety blitz there at Cam Nelson coming off the corner. So it's 2nd down and 13 for California. Riley in the gun. Looking left all the way. Pass out in the flat, misfired for tight end Jarrett Sparks. So the sack on first down now leaves Cal with 3rd and 13. Jeff Tedford doesn't call the plays anymore, but he's got the plays on his left arm there, Glenn.
Yeah, and you know, we go back to winning on first down for Cal. That blitz, good adjustment by Mark Stoops, the coordinator of Arizona. He understands they got to win on first down too.
Let's see how Arizona goes at this on 3rd and 13. Cal not in field goal range. Arizona showing 7 up near the line. To bring 4, and Riley throws an out that's caught short of the first. At the 30-yard line, Marvin Jones the catch, Devin Ross the stop, and now the question for Cal is, well, they feel like they're close enough to give the kick a try. So this is Giorgio Tavecchio, a sophomore. Cal started the year with Tavecchio as their place kicker. Vince D'Amato, a freshman, took over. He got hurt. Tavecchio's back. His long field goal, 51. This will be 46. Not much of a breeze. Just inside the right hash. And Tavecchio, does he have enough leg? Yes, and it's good. Didn't have a lot of margin to spare, but enough. And Giorgio Tavecchio, who grew up only about 10 miles here from the campus in Berkeley, gives Jeff Tedford's California Bears the first points. One of the landmarks of this great campus, you can see it even from downtown San Francisco, the Campanile Tower on the campus of Berkeley. Final home football game of the year. California still has 2 road conference games ahead, including next Saturday's rivalry game at Stanford, which you'll see here on Versus. Travis Cobb and Nick Booth deep for Arizona. Tavecchio to kick for California after that efficient scoring drive.
Travis Cobb should be opening kickoff last year, although that's
This is a very short kick, and Booth hit the break. And Arizona gets good field position. A very short kick for California. Chris Conti with the special teams tackle for the Bears. And here comes Nick Foles in Arizona's offense in this just wildly huge game for the Wildcats. Foles second in the country to Colt McCoy of Texas in completion percentage.
Yeah, and a lot of that, listen, it is dink and dunk stuff. That's what they do. They want to get him comfortable very early, throwing and finding his spot.
And that's important. He's a Texan. He's from Austin. Went to Michigan State for 1 year and then transferred to Arizona. Viola Antolin is the back. Nick Grigsby in uniform. We don't know how much he'll play today. Quick screen, Terrell Turner. And Turner is across the Arizona 40. As we'll see the freecreditreport.com starting lineup. The rest of Arizona's offensive line. They average 311 across. Colin Baxter, the heart of that line in the middle.
Yeah, he's a scrapper, tough guy. He brings it. Take a look at these skilled guys. Viola Antolin, a slasher. Terrell Turner, really a go-to guy out there.
That was the 39th catch of the year for Terrell Turner on the first down play. Nick Foles completed 40 passes in a game this year. A win for Arizona against Stanford. And how big does that win look right now? And off to Antolin. Big gap left side. And a first down run for Keola Antolin of Arizona. And we'll check now the freecreditreport.com California defense. 3-man front. Final home game for Tyson Alualu, his 36th straight start. The leader on this team. The young man is married with 2 children.
The mature one. And when you take a look, Mike Muhammad, maybe the most underrated linebacker in the Pac-10, leads the team in tackles. As we move into the secondary, Sidquan Thompson, one of the better DBs in all the Pac-10 and in the country.
Bryant Nabufi getting a start. It's the 3rd different man to start opposite Thompson as a corner. Big test for him today. Quick hit to the California 45-yard line on the first down pass. And that one's caught by Dave Roberts, his 30th catch of the year, and that's one of the things about playing in this offense. The receivers all get a chance. They spread it out.
Yeah, and you know, somebody would like to say, well, he gets it to everybody. All he does just finds the void. He finds the open guy, throws to him.
This quick release in the offense for Coach Mike Stoops. It's Sonny Dykes, who's the O coordinator that brought this offense from Texas Tech. Hand off to Antolin. And Glenn, the challenge for all defenses, and Cal has it today. We talked to Bob Gregory, their D coordinator, is how to disrupt Nick Foles' timing when he throws the ball so quickly. He's only been sacked twice this year.
Yeah, and what they do, Arizona does this. They look, they see the boy. Nick knows where he's going with that ball before the snap. And so Arizona gets away with it. They don't get a lot of pressure on him simply because he's so decisive where he's going with the ball before the ball snaps.
They do have a fullback in the game. Now splits out wide is Gronkowski. Chris Gronkowski. Handoff again to Antolin. This time Cal stuffs the play. Short gain. Cameron Jordan. First hit for the Bears on defense.
But now's where you see that short kick coming into play. In a matter of 4 or 5 plays, Arizona has flipped field position on Cal. So Cal really has to buckle down here if they're going to get the ball back at all.
So no gain on that first down carry. 2nd and 10 coming. Antolin, the single back. 3 left here on the wide side of the field for Foles. He stands in with time. Throws the underneath route, and Antolin bobbles and drops, anticipating the hit from Sidquan Thompson.
that would be where Arizona misses a Nick Grigsby, who catches the ball out of the backfield so well. You take a look, it's a little drag route underneath. Once the linebacker commits, he'll Anthony out. He's open, the ball's there, you just got to grab it.
Nick Grigsby, separated shoulder. You see him standing number 5 on the sideline without a helmet on. Mike Stoops told us last night he might use him today as an alternate, as a change of pace back. Probably not a full load. Shotgun here on 3rd down. Pressure through. Escape Foles. Deep ball to Turner, open. And just broken up. What a huge play. All the way 40 yards down the field by Mike Muhammad.
Well, there's the linebacker we talked about. Hey, got behind him. He's got him there. Terrell Turner's there. Here's where you see the strength of Nick Foles and the size that people talk about. The ball's out there. Great job of Muhammad, the underrated linebacker, getting out there and knocking that ball down. Get another look at it here.
That's a great play by a linebacker. It's a linebacker in the end zone, 40 yards down the field, which should have been 6 for Arizona. Instead, it'll be a punt. Keenan Pryor to punt it. And he hits it. Jeremy Ross from California lets it hit into the end zone on a fly. So California stops Arizona, and the Bears will take over at their 20. There's a gorgeous view of San Francisco and the Bay Bridge. Been in the news quite a bit lately. A new Bay Bridge being built. We hope sometime in our lifetime. The NHL season heating up on Versus. Monday night, Zach Parise leads the Devils in a huge emotional game against the Flyers. Then Tuesday, Marian Gaborik and the Rangers hosting the Capitals. Both games at 7 Eastern. The NHL right here on Versus.
How about that, Matt? Those two matchups. You can take a train between all of them. It's great. Good rivalries going on there.
It's the Amtrak division, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it is.
And now, don't get me started on this one already. We just had a review here. It has to be the kickoff, right? They can't review. Okay. All right, so there is not, we are told, the official. Michael Batlin announced the prior play was under review. It turns out there was a little glitch in the system that they were allowing Michael Batlin to be informed about. So it'll be California with the ball first out of the 20-yard line. And you know, really, Glenn, the story of this game so much is about Arizona and the opportunity they have in trying to get to next week, trying to make the huge showdown game with Oregon at Arizona Stadium be for first place.
Well, you don't want to lose focus on the game in front of you, though, is the tough part.
Well, that's why this is such a big road challenge for the Wildcats. 3-step drop Riley. And it went the second time and still hit Varane Tucker out close to the 35.
What they're doing is they're seeing over-the-top single safety. They're running that slant in or that post in behind the linebacker and in front of the DB and safety. They've done a nice job at identifying a big hole in Arizona's defense.
Senior Tucker. That's the 14-yard gain. Cal going without a huddle, although they did make a sub or two. Arizona with 5 up front. Give it to Vereen. And outside left until he was tracked down from behind by Sterling Lewis. But right now, the early returns here, California able to run with moderate success against that Arizona D.
Well, I think number one, getting your tough guy offensive lineman Matt Summers-Gavin back is big. They're doing a lot of running to the left. Number two, they're exploiting the speed of Arizona's defense in their run game by getting edges and getting into it.
So 5 on that run for Vereen. Second down now, the 2 tight ends set for Cal. Vereen goes right. I mean, look at that hole. The Cal line split Arizona's deep front, and Vereen gets it to midfield.
Well, if we're going to look at this play, you'll see the blocking up front. It's straight power blocking, pulling your offside guard, getting him out there. Arizona misses a tackle. Vereen makes the most of it. Great blocking up front, taking their gaps, picking their angles, and opening up a seam.
In the last 2 weeks, Cal just 57 yards rushing at Arizona State. They won that game. 39 yards rushing here last week in the loss to Oregon State. 29 already in the first quarter. Riley hits Marvin Jones. And so here's a sophomore from Etiwanda, California, and he has become the guy. He's the Kay Jewelers go-to guy for Kevin Riley and Cal.
Well, you look at what he leads the team in receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns. Coaches call him dynamic. He's a guy that makes things happen.
And of course, California trying to find the next guy, at least in terms of performance, to replace Deshaun Jackson. Game-breaking kind of player, Kovan DeBoski-Johnson, the second tailback now in the game. And Riley dancing and dancing. And now trying to lob one down the sideline for Jeremy Ross and almost hit it.
An impressive pass by Riley. It's not completed, but the touch was perfect. It was the only place it could go. It didn't get picked. He was on the roll, had all day. That's everything you want in your quarterback was on that play right there, except the completion.
So the Bears now facing a 3rd and 1 at the Arizona 41. Vereen back in, and the Bears split, 2 receivers left and 1 right. And will motion a man in, but a great defensive play. Donald Horton, one of the 7 senior starters for the Arizona defense, and he just busted through to break up. Now there is a flag down.
Well, great penetration. He beat the right guard fairly easily. If from where the flag's at and what it looks like, it might be holding on that same right guard.
We're waiting for the announcement from Michael Batlin.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 8 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, will be 4th down.
Wide receiver Nyan Boateng called. One of those penalties that just infuriates.
Well, especially a dead ball foul, pushing you back, all of the things. You had field position 1. So all you had to do was not do something stupid, and you had field position 1, and now you flip the switch, and if it's a bad punt at all, Arizona's going to have some field position of their own. Drives the coach crazy.
So William Bug Wright ran one back last week against Washington State. Oh, and Arizona got in on Brian Anger. They got the punt away, a fair catch taken by Wright at the Arizona 25. And here's that post-whistle penalty against Boateng.
Take a look. He's grabbing his face mask and yanking down Devin Ross. You know, and it's such a simple thing. Why? You can't gain anything from it. Devin Ross is a senior and a stud. You're not going to impress him.
I've heard that before. That's a penalty about me, right?
Yes,
not about team.
That's about me. That's about the name on the back of the jersey, not the name on the front.
So Arizona, first down from the 25, late first quarter. Quick here to Kreiner, and Kreiner got to the near sideline before being tripped up. It's Jaron Kreiner, sophomore from Las Vegas, his 28th catch.
Now Cal uses the run to set up the play action pass. Arizona uses that wide receiver screen like that to set up the long ball. It's really play action pass. You're throwing a 5-yard hitch to get a run, and that sets up play action pass when you're in 4 wide.
DeLaShawn Dean is at the top of your picture. He's not been thrown to yet. Most experienced of the wideouts along with Turner. Fumble, ball down. Does Cal have it? It is ruled California ball. And that's an area where Cal shines. And Eddie Young, senior from Berkeley, right here, final home game, recovers the fumble.
Great penetration, top of the screen, comes under, hits the back of big Adam Grant.
That's Alu, isn't it?
He'll handle and runs right into the back of Adam Grant, drops that ball on the ground. And you'll get another look. Here's Adam Grant. He's getting pushed into the backfield. Yeah. Hit, big old strong behind, knocks the ball out.
So Alu got the push on Grant, causing the fumble. Cal is now +9 in turnovers this year. Can they cash in here? Down the sideline, the same touch ball down the sideline, misfired by California. Intended for Wildcat. And there's a name.
Love the thought process from Andy Ludwig. Quick change, get the ball down the field, let's go for the throat. You have to love that. As a player on offense, you love when your coordinator feels that way and takes your shots.
For anybody who's a football fan, that name rings true. Wildcat, he is the son of Joe Cap, the last quarterback to take Cal to the Rose Bowl 50 years ago, and a former head coach here. Riley now throws an inside screen. That's smothered. Vuna, Tuihalamaka smacks down Jeremy Ross. So a loss on that play, and California being pushed back here on their home field in Berkeley, California, the San Francisco Bay Area, with Glenn Parker and Lewis Johnson, Ted Robinson. A second college game of the day on Versus. And for Arizona, trying to maintain a share of first place in the Pac-10 and set up a huge showdown game with Oregon next week. Remember, Arizona is the only member of the Pac-10 that has never been to the Rose Bowl. And Cal has not been to the game longer than that. But Arizona fans would love that first ever experience. Rose Bowl. Slant low. Tucker. Flag.
Tucker just on a dig route, and the DB all over him from behind, at least from initial indications.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, we'll take a look at it here. Up at the top of your screen, you can see Tucker against Ross. He's just got a little dig route. Ross gets his left hand on. That is a very a spotty call at best. I don't know. I think Tucker more tripped and fell down than he was interfered with. But you have to be so careful as a DB. You just can't
get your hands out, right?
You can't put them anywhere.
Yeah, he had his hands extended out.
That's
so
right.
Sort of it helps the official make that call.
Yes, it does. You're absolutely right. And a great job, Tucker, going down, coming up, saying, hey, where's my call?
So first down, little end around play, option pass, but it's shut down, and Vereen, oh, that's a great, what a magnificent job. That's one of the best runs you'll see. That is incredible. Shane Vereen should have been stopped for a 15-yard loss. He turns it into a 10-yard gain, and the quarterback, of all people, throws a great block.
And that's why they love this kid. There's no quit. There's no I'm not the guy. He wants the guy being dragged down by Ricky Elmore, gets out of it. Now he makes a move, gets a big time back that takes out 2 guys, and then to get up there and make it a second and 1, very makeable for him.
You know that as an former lineman, Glenn. When your quarterback threw a block like you just saw Riley, that made film session fun, huh?
Oh, you loved it. Love a guy who'll get down and dirty for you.
See if we can see that again. That was a tremendous block by Riley as Vereen, and he didn't need much. It was a second and short play, and Vereen may have gotten enough. Ricky Elmore has got to be kicking himself because he had Vereen wrapped up for what would have been a 15-yard loss.
Well, you saw that strength in Vereen. They told us about his lower body strength, how good he comes out of the hole. Well, he does that, and that's that drive. Ricky Elmore trying to drag him down, and just no getting him down.
And thinking back, watching Riley throw that block, we saw Brett Favre run 30, 40 yards down the field earlier this year in a Minnesota game and throw a great block against Patrick Willis, the tremendous San Francisco linebacker. Vaughn DeBosky Johnson in the game. On the play action, escape Riley. And Riley got it down close to the 5-yard line, and so our crew has found a great job, guys. We're going to see this Riley block.
It's going to take out 2 guys. Watch him come up here. He's going to get a shot, and it's right at the top of your screen. Right there. Sorry about that. And he gets 2 guys down. That opens up the entire inside. Finally, Sterling Lewis gets out there.
And on the flip side, Devin Ross is not going to enjoy the tape review of that. Gets smacked down by the quarterback, but well done by Riley. There's Cal's red zone production on second and goal. And Vereen down left, pushing, squirming, and fighting, and he's close, but not in.
But there you go again. This should be 3rd and goal from the 4 or 5. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. Great lower body strength by Shane Vereen.
Arizona's red zone defense has not excelled. They've allowed 15 touchdowns in 23 red zone trips by their opponents. That's 65%. That's not what a defense would want.
No, not at all. And that shows how undersized they are. They're a speed defense, not a big defense.
Good call. In the red zone, that matters. And that ends the first quarter in Berkeley. But Cal has a chance to take early command of this game. It's so significant for Arizona. So we start the second quarter in Berkeley here with California trying to extend that lead at the 2-yard line. And if anybody wants to understand what the significance of the Rose Bowl means in the Pac-10, if you're watching around the country and you're not familiar, ask either fan, any fan in this stadium today of either of these schools can explain to you what it means. And that's what Arizona has the real shot at, the Rose Bowl.
Since they've joined the Pac-10 back in the late 70s, they have never been the only team in the Pac-10 to have not gone to a Rose Bowl.
Option. Keep Riley. No. Good stick. Loose ball covered. Whoa, there was a very fortunate bounce for California as Riley got popped. Ball free, and Earl Mitchell, I believe, is the guy that pops Riley here.
Yeah, it looks like Earl Mitchell gets in there, knocks that ball loose. One of the dangers of running option when you're not an option team. Your quarterback's not used to handling the ball on the run. Had it in his right arm, left arm of Earl Mitchell comes in and pops it loose.
Skylar Curran, tight end for California, saved the day and gives Tavecchio a shot here from 21. And Tavecchio through, so that's actually, that's a red zone win for Arizona. That does stop. And so 2 California field goals, 6-0 Bears. Cal 6, Arizona 0. Second quarter this season with college football on Versus.com. You can play the College Football Pick'em Challenge. Compete against your friends for bragging rights, but even better, you got a shot to beat Big Row. And that's a mission. See if you can take down Roland Williams, our Versus studio analyst. Log on to Versus.com. Big Row and the gang will be along at halftime to update you on everything that's happened, including a stunning, maybe not for those familiar with the Pac-10, the result, but the score, the dominance of Stanford today. Just, absolutely thrashing USC at the Coliseum.
Yeah, Stanford has looked better every game they've played. Early loss at Wake Forest, and they come on strong since then.
We'll get to this later. They're in the mix. They're not out of this mix in the Pac-10 as Travis Cobbs run back to the 30-yard line. But yesterday, during Cal's walkthrough, Lewis Johnson had a chance to visit with Cal quarterback Kevin Riley.
Kevin, what went through your mind last week when you watched Jahvid Best go down that tremendous fall and all the medical attention on the field?
It was a difficult scene. I was standing right there. I motioned out, and you could see it when we watched film the next day. I'm celebrating. I throw my hands up in the air, and he's higher than both my hands when I'm jumping. So you could tell when he was coming down it was going to be a hard fall. And we're just glad it wasn't anything worse than it was. It's not great that he got hurt at all.
And Antolin with the first down carry for Arizona. That was when we talked to Jeff Tedford yesterday. He relayed. He was right there. It was serious. There was some serious concern in the immediate moments after Jahvid Best's fall. And Jeff said, we had players with tears in their eyes because they understood how serious it was. And it really did, not to take away from Oregon State, but it took a huge toll on the California team. Arizona. First of all, trying to just keep the ball here, as you referenced one of your keys here, Glenn. Arizona, they haven't been on the field very much.
No, they absolutely got dominated time of possession in that first half. Cal with about 11.5 minutes of possession time. But Cal's in a scary situation right now. They've dominated time of possession. They've dominated field position. And yet they've only got 6 points to show for it against an offense that can strike very quickly.
There's Jahvid Best, who's staying on the sideline. Jeff Tedford wasn't sure how long Jahvid will be able to stay out on the field. But a great, just incredible respect of his teammates. 3rd and 2 here. And Foles hit Antolin. Big 3rd down play, and that's been amazing. Arizona starting play today, 48% 3rd down team. That's unbelievable. That's only 2nd in the Pac-10.
Yeah, and watch how much traffic that Nick Foles throws this into to get it to Antolin in that little window. He's going through a picket fence of arms. He's going over D linemen, underneath the linebackers. Great job of Keelan Antolin keeping his eyes on that ball coming through all that traffic.
One of the other things that 3rd down number tells you is they're doing a lot on 1st and 2nd because you have to have a lot of short thirds to complete at that percentage. screen. So Antolin getting some work early here. Grigsby's not been on the field yet, but Cameron Jordan, the good play for California, loss of 2.
Cameron Jordan's got a lot of range. He's a tall guy, uses his hands well, and what he does is when you're pass rushing and you sniff screen, you got to turn and run. He did a great job of getting out there right into the play and getting a good tackle.
Nick Foles, first full year as a starter. He played 1 game in his 1 year at Michigan State. Still keeps in touch with Mark D'Antonio and a lot of the players there. So there was nothing wrong with Michigan State. He just wanted to be in Arizona. Greg won't go in as a back to block, and that ball out of the hands of DeLaShawn Dean.
And that ball thrown a little behind DeLaShawn Dean as it bounced up. Lucky it probably wasn't picked. If that ball is tipped at all, there's too many guys around. This one's going to come right at you. Take a look at it. Nick Foles, a lot on that ball, but see, it's just behind DeLaShawn Dean. Comes off his back shoulder. That's a dangerous spot to throw a ball with a safety coming over the top.
When we met Nick Foles last night, I couldn't believe how big he is. I mean, he is huge. 6'5", 235 is what he's listed. He's at least that. And he's thick and strong.
Well, we've seen it once today where he got away from pressure and threw the deep ball.
It's going to take a lot to sack him.
Yes, it is.
It's going to take a strong man to bring him down. 3rd down. Strong arm, but low. And an errant ball skips into Dean. Incomplete, and Arizona will be forced to punt. So this offense, this Arizona offense that's first in the Pac-10 in yards, 13th in the country in yards, 448 a game, and so far, not much, just 3 first downs.
You got to credit Bob Gregory, the defensive coordinator. He's come up with a plan to keep the rhythm out of that offense.
All right, so we're getting a booth review.
It looked like that ball skipped on the ground. I don't know what more they could review, unless he put his knee down as he was throwing and they want to bring the ball back to the spot. Maybe that's what it is.
You got me. I don't get this at all. The more I've watched all of this, the more I hope they should give coaches challenges. The incessant, interminable booth reviews that still don't get plays right is what's hard to fathom. That ball clearly, I mean, that's...
We saw it from up here.
Not even close, yeah.
And we're a long way away.
So this should not take long. Should not take long.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed incomplete pass.
Well, give them credit. At least they're reviewing plays. It would be one thing if we kept saying to ourselves, why didn't they review that? Why didn't they look at this? Better to say, why are they looking at something, I guess, than to say, why not?
So this will be a punt for Arizona. Keenan Pryor second. Jeremy Ross, the return man for California. Ross runs up, fair catch. Just shy of the 20. And so California, having dominated time of possession and yardage, gets the ball again. One of the longest running sagas in California and Berkeley history has been this, but it's actually underway. You can see it, the construction of a high-performance athletic center adjacent to Memorial Stadium. It will be the home for not just Cal football, but for 13 sports here in Berkeley. It's the first phase of the eventual remodeling of this stadium that opened in 1923 and sits squarely on the San Andreas Fault. So you get an idea they need to do something.
It's an arms race in college football. And, Oregon has kind of started it off in the Pac-10, and Arizona State followed suit. Now Cal, and I believe Arizona's trying to get something done as well.
Exactly right. Arizona is going to do something in Tucson as well. And here's Marine on first down for California with a flag down as well. So that's what you saw. What's really happening here is the renderings of what will eventually be here, and the actual finale. The final stage will force California in 2 years. They'll have to play their season somewhere else while they work on the first half of the stadium redo. The 2011 season they'll play in one of the other stadiums here in the Bay Area.
Number 75 on the offense. Half a distance to go. Made first down.
Matt Summers, Gavin, the flag for a California hold.
Returning from that injury, they said he brought toughness. Brought a little holder with him.
Well, the biggest thing, and Jeff Tedford in his 8th year here has done so much to rebuild California football. There are no more people in trees here. And anybody that's spent any time in Berkeley understands how significant that is. There are no more people living in trees. And that was something that a lot of people thought they'd never say.
I don't know if you'd ever said that you would see a full Cal Stadium as well, as much as he's brought excitement to this program since he's come on board.
Green is the back on this long first down play. And Green is stopped after a very short gain. Donald Horton first hit for Arizona. Well, what Jahvid Best, and we've talked about the Jahvid Best story, and Cal lost 2 difficult games. They lost to Oregon, USC back-to-back weeks. Stanford has just beaten them back-to-back. Cal lost both and lost them decisively. 2 years ago, Cal's season deteriorated. Jahvid Best was a freshman on the team. He saw it. This year's team did not deteriorate after those 2 losses that took them out of the conference chase. And Jeff Tedford will tell you, Jahvid Best is a lot of the reason why. A guy that's such a great leader and that his teammates so immensely respect. As for Marvin Jones here, and that'll get Cal out and give him a shot on 3rd down. Lewis Johnson has more on Jahvid.
Ted, it's been interesting to watch Jahvid Best down here with his teammates. You know, really, there's no replacing him, right? But Shane Vereen's been doing a pretty good job. Right now, 12 rushes for 45 yards. But Best has really been in the mix down here sidelines, talking with the guys, kind of giving them that confidence, a smile, just really chatting about the game. Kevin Riley was so frustrated with himself with that fumble on the last possession, kind of hit his helmet, but you can tell that he kind of got himself back together now and trying to lead the team back down the field.
They have a manageable 3rd here. 7 to go. And from the gun, a high throw, incomplete, flag down, and that could be a break for California. That was not a catchable ball thrown to Jared Sparks.
Well, take a look. What you're going to see, if you do see this, is Cam Nelson comes up. They both hit at the point where the ball is sailing over. Very tough to make that call, but the official sees what he sees, and the DB must make it easy for the official not to make a call.
Pass interference. Defense number 9. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We'll take a look at it right here. They get Joe Perkins. Oh, they go back and correct themselves.
They changed it to Nelson.
Bottom left of your screen, here's Cam Nelson. The ball is in the air. I don't know what they called there. Very tough to see.
Yeah, that's just a bad break. From the standpoint, that's not a catchable ball.
Yeah.
And it would have been a punt. Instead, Cal's drive continues.
And I'm not sure catchable matters as much, but when you look at it, I don't know what he was looking at because there was no definitive contact that I could see.
Inside Vereen, he got hit first there by Lolamana Michaele, junior from Honolulu. California dominating. They're holding the ball. And this is one of your keys, Glenn, because it keeps that explosive Arizona offense on the side.
Yeah, you've got to keep Arizona's offense off the field. And one thing that Arizona does well is they win the time of possession battle most of the time, even though they're a spread, quick hit offense. Well, not only have you affected their rhythm, but now you're not giving them a chance to run that offense. You're doing a great job. Credit goes to Andy Ludwig coming up with a great game plan. Both defensive coordinators, fantastic.
Yep, 4 wides here for Cal. Riley, that's an errant throw, and dangerous throw that might have been picked. Jeremy Ross was intended short, and that ball sailed down close to where Joe Perkins was standing for the Wildcats.
Riley getting on Ross a little bit about that. And the one thing, they love Riley because he's as tough as they've coached. That's what they keep saying. And it's just the way he carries himself as a leader, as the QB. That's something that the coaching staff across the board said. And you saw it right there. Whatever the adjustment was, he didn't like it. Went right to Ross and said, hey, let's get this right.
Of course, it's a growth process for Riley. When Riley first played here as a redshirt freshman, he was throwing to Deshaun Jackson and Lavelle Hawkins. They're 2 NFL guys. Now it's a new group of receivers that are developing. Riley avoids. Riley runs. Caught from behind by Sterling Lewis. Short of the first. And Cal will be forced to punt.
And right there's where you saw the speed of the Arizona defense. Looked for all accounts like Kevin Riley was going to easily get the first down and caught from behind by a linebacker.
That's a big tackle by Lewis to get Arizona back to football here. Middle second quarter. Bug right for the Wildcats. Cal covers as well, and Wright takes a fair catch. Ooh, he fair caught that ball at the 6-yard line. And that's a terrific Brian Anger punt to pin Arizona deep. College football Saturday here on Versus, but Wednesday we're back to the cage with a belt on the line, Glenn Parker.
Yeah, you got big-handed Mike Brown. He's got heavy hands going against Aldo. Mike Brown with a good wrestling background and big shots. That's how he took out Uriah Faber. Aldo, though, very fast hands, a very good jiu-jitsu background. He can get it to the ground. It's going to be a great fight.
Why aren't you there for us Wednesday night here on Versus? You should be.
I'd love to
Listen to that analysis right there. The Teddy Atlas of Versus. I love it.
A big fan of the WC. I like the little guys. The lightweights are phenomenal to watch.
And Arizona after a 49-yard net punt from Brian Anger of California. Wildcats backed up. And nothing much on first for Keola Antolin. And so far, no Nick Grigsby again for Arizona. Just asked Mike Stoops last night, and he said, well, you know, we're not sure. We have a big game coming up next week, a couple of big games still to play, so it appears they're going to be cautious with Grigsby today.
Well, when he first got hurt, it was an injury that you could see bothered him, and then subsequently kept dinging it and getting it worse and worse. They just thought, you know what, let him stay out. Go with what you got.
Antolin has carried 7 times for 23 yards. Foles is 5 of 9 throwing for 26. Cross to Dean. Sean Dean, he's a Northern California product. Fairfield up towards Sacramento. So Arizona, and there's no question they have to tackle the toughest part of their schedule starting today. Oregon next week, the rivalry game in Tempe, and ending up at the Coliseum, which now, given what happened today, suddenly a little bit of that invincibility is washed away from the Trojans.
That it is, but you know, right now, given what happened today, they need to focus right on this game. And that schedule, it's tough on them. You know, they look and they said, hey, we have to go to Cal, and then we've got Oregon at home, who's very good. And oh, then we have to go to Arizona State, to USC. But it doesn't matter unless you win this one right here.
And the Wildcats, who had one co-conference title, 1993, Dick Tomey's team. They were in a 3-way tie for the Pac-10 regular season title with 2 losses. Did not represent the conference in the Rose Bowl, and that's so much what they want to do. Cal hasn't been there in over 50 years now. Oregon State, we saw them on Versus last year. They had a chance to go for the first time since 1965. And Oregon dashed those hopes in the Civil War game. A great football night on Versus last November. Now it's Arizona. Hopeful.
Arizona in 4 wide. They've got 2 complete offenses that are completely different from each other. Meaning they run a 4 wide and a 2-back.
Antolin first down, but Cal stuffing. So right now, Arizona not able to establish much on the ground, and there are, again, numbers, 200 yards a game on the ground coming in.
Well, Sonny Dykes spoke to us, and he said, you know, it's just so hard to get a bead on what they do defensively. They're very shifty. They're an odd man front, but they'll play even man fronts in there against you. And he said, it's just tough to get a bead on this group.
2 years ago when Arizona played here, Grigsby played as a freshman, but they ended up with Willie Tuitama throwing 61 passes. Arizona's been much prouder of the fact that his offense this year has been incredibly balanced between the run and the throw. Foles waits there, good time, a lot of time, and found Terrell Turner, and that's a first across the 30. Looks like we have a flag here that came in late.
Personal foul, face mask, number 5 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Sidquan Thompson, the senior leader at the secondary on the tackle.
Well, I want you to watch out here. When Nick Foles pump fakes, that brings everybody to a stop, and you'll just see this is a beautiful job of a little double move and a pump stop, and it's wide open out there. That's how he gets it to him. You just watch. Really simple stuff. That pump is everything. Now you got to stop, and that's where all of the defensive room comes from for that wide receiver.
And that was with 8 men covered. Yeah, only rushed 3. And Foles was able to find an open man. Pressure coming here. It's a dump off. That's Chris Gronkowski. The senior, the older brother of one of the most important players missing for Arizona this year, their fabulous tight end Rob Gronkowski, who's been out all year with a back problem, rehabbing and intending to play next year.
By all accounts, Rob Gronkowski, the best tight end in college football this year, had that back surgery early. They never had him. They had to rebuild their offense. They had to kind of redesign the entire offense to not have him in it.
The first down play got them 3. Big gap middle. Antolin busted. Great cutback, and Antolin really weaving his way nicely through the Cal secondary inside the 20.
Your left guard, Conan Amatunai, pulls 55, comes through, block on right there. Keel Antolin, great job jumping off back to the inside with a good cut, and then getting upfield, protecting that ball.
And the first bust-out run, 33 yards for Antolin.
Now, Conan has been hurt for the last few weeks, hasn't been in, and he just came in this last series, getting a big lead block there for him.
But you saw how well Antolin ran it against Cal last year. Arizona winning last year's game in Tucson. Now, 2 tight ends here for the Wildcats, 2 receivers right. As darkness settles in over the stadium in Berkeley, and tripping and falling is Greg Nwoko, redshirt freshman from Pflugerville, Texas.
Well, that kills you if you're Sonny Dykes. You got all this momentum going. You're looking for a first down, get yourself 3-4 yards, and you trip on the turf monster and fall. And I'll tell you, that gets you.
And you see Arizona's red zone offense and Cal's defense. They've played a lot of bend, but they haven't broken much. They're only 50% touchdowns in red zone defense. That's a good number.
And one thing Sonny Dykes said, what do we have to do when we're on the road? We have to get touchdowns in the red zone.
And second down, pulls, first man cut off, buys time, and then throws it away.
Well, the problem for an Arizona team is if you're in 4 wide, you can't power run as much. And so then you go to 2 back, and you're more of a power team, but then you can't throw. So it's easy for defenses at that point maybe to get a little beat on what you do in the red zone. Maybe that explains some of the problems they've had.
There it is. You can see just 48% touchdowns allowed. That's a number you'll be happy with as a D coordinator.
Real happy with that, especially when you take a look at some of the teams they play, the offenses they face.
And Arizona's got a long third here. Ball has to snap it. Just does. Got a postman. Great catch. First and goal, Arizona. Saw that one all the way. Dave Roberts. Good route. And Foles delivered.
Yeah, and you'll see this. This is coming right at you. This ball in. A little contact right before the ball gets there. Brett Johnson, though, you have to wonder. He's not going to get behind him at that point. You got to step up there. You got to come up there and play on the ball, not the man.
And a nice job, Roberts, despite he got hit just a touch early there, and he was able to hold it. So it's first and goal, Arizona. And the power run, Antolin. There's signal. Touchdown. Finally, with Taimi Tutogi was put in, the freshman who ran a lot last week for the Wildcats at home against Washington State. They put him in there to be the lead block. And Antolin ran right behind him.
He runs right behind him and right behind big Conan Amatunai. 55, both of them right there, pushing, getting some pushback. But hey, I got to credit Cal's defensive line. They didn't give ground there. That was really just Keel Antolin driving his legs.
Touchdown.
Well, no surprise. Under review. And of course, I've been perplexed watching a lot of college football games this year because the rule is supposed to be where the ball is. And oftentimes that's not the way things are judged.
Well, it's interesting, too, with the way they're doing replay nowadays. When you listen to an official, it's almost like you're listening to a lawyer talk because there's just so many things that are said. They might say, well, it confirms the ruling stands, it overturns. You have to really listen to the verbiage to figure out what they're telling you was what they saw.
All right, they didn't look very long. Here's Michael Batlin.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So you see, he said it stands. It didn't confirm it.
Right.
It just stands.
The only thing I would offer, Glenn, having actually sat in the stands as a fan this year at a college football game, is it's not fan-friendly. The amount of reviews, the amount of times the game is stopped by the booth upstairs. After all, you are selling tickets here, not fan-friendly.
I don't think it's rhythm-friendly. The players don't like it. They're like, hey, we got a rhythm going. Let's roll.
We have a flag down here on the point. Flag down as point was kicked by Alex Zendejas. Yes, and that's another. That's against California.
Signals offside, California, and they'll decline.
Offside on the defense, number 15. That penalty's declined. Try is good.
Well, as we go to break here, let's take a look. This is the big play that sets it all up. David Roberts on the post gets hit a little early, comes down at the 1, and then just big time blocking up front. Big Conan and Keola getting that touchdown for Arizona.
I just want you to know, should I fall asleep on the drive home?
I'm Bill Patrick. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Show, I'm joined once again by Roe Williams and Christian Fourier. We will analyze the first half action, see if TCU can continue its bid for a BCS bowl game, and check out our plays of the week, because we're all in tip-top shape right now, Ted.
Right. I'm glad to hear that, Bill. Miss everybody back there in versus College Football Central. A nice night here in Berkeley. Lights taking full effect. Arizona with the lead. And, of course, the Pac-10, even a different little spin today with Stanford beating USC. Stanford has 6 wins in the conference.
Yeah.
They're not out of this one.
No, they're right in it. A loss to Arizona earlier.
All right, muff ball. Still live and alertly covered. Jeremy Ross could not field it cleanly, and Kovan Daboski-Johnson fell on the loose ball to save the possession for California. So next Saturday, Utah still in the running in the Mountain West. San Diego State, that'll be at 3:30 Eastern. And then prime time, the 112th big game between California and Stanford, which takes on a lot more meaning given Stanford's win today. And of course, the day begins on Versus with another one of college football's great events, the game, Harvard and Yale, noon Eastern, all next Saturday right here on Versus. All right, Arizona has just taken a defensive timeout.
This is where the chess game really gets going. Arizona's done a very good job defensively the last couple of series stopping Cal. Cal dominated so much early, so now obviously they're going to make adjustments. No longer do you just make adjustments at halftime. You get them done immediately. So now here they go, and they've got themselves a timeout because they know something came out that was odd for them.
Yeah, and knowing they may not get the ball back, don't want to necessarily finish with timeouts in your pocket. Use one here. And for Arizona, we all know what Mike Stoops has done in building a program that was at a real low mark when he went to Arizona. This is just what they've had to deal with this year, Glenn.
Just this year. I mean, Rob Gronkowski, who you built your offense around, drops. You've had 5 starting offensive lines. You keep switching it up. You've had injuries to all of your running backs. That's all of your top 3. You blew a 12-point lead to Washington and then had a fluke play that beat you. And you've had 50 players who have had the swine flu. Unbelievable, the adversity, that they're fighting through it. And that's what Stoops has brought. He says, we no longer hope to play well. We just go out and do play well.
That's it. They expect to now. They just had a 93-yard drive at Arizona to score the game's first touchdown, take the lead, and they stopped Shane Vereen here after a short gain. This is the first time that Arizona has been ranked in 9 years. And one of the great notes, it's the first time since January of 1987 that the Arizona football team is ranked and the basketball team is not.
Yeah, Arizona basketball, of course, under Lute Olson, a grand tradition, always ranked very high. And, of course, with Dick Tomey, Arizona was always ranked very well. Things have fallen apart, so to speak, until now.
Well, Jim Livengood made a fabulous hire in Sean Miller, taking over basketball there. Another short run here by Vereen, and so who knows now if you're Arizona, take a timeout? No, not going to, but now the Wildcats are looking at getting the ball back here with decent field position if they can make a 3rd down stop.
Yeah, and we saw how fast that they were able to score on that last drive. Even though it was 93 yards, they moved the ball down the field pretty darn run faster in about 4 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's a long way to go in a short amount of time.
All right, 3rd and 7. Cal spreads. Riley in the gun. Arizona, look at the wide splits on their down 4 rushers. Not even a lot of time. Then swallowed up right in the middle by Earl Mitchell. 4th sack with a half for Mitchell on the year. 2nd sack for Arizona tonight. And so now this is a good place. Stoops does take a timeout.
Yeah, Earl Mitchell stops at the line, but he keeps fighting, keeps his eyes open, and drags down Kevin Riley. Now, the thing about Earl was a fullback / tight end early in his career up until just before last season. He was moved to D-tackle, and he's progressing. You watch him. That's one of the things they pointed out. So I watched him on film the last few times, and he still doesn't always play up to his potential, but when he plays to where the coaches think he can be, he's pretty special.
That's a good timeout, I think, for Mike Stoops. Arizona's going to get the ball back with about just under 2 minutes to go. Should be good field position as we look at Lowe's building towards the BCS. And you see what's happened to Florida. That was a game people thought could be a trap game for Florida. They win it on the road.
Yeah, and then the game tonight, Alabama, of course, will go into Starkville. Texas with not much of a match against Baylor, and then, of course, TCU already playing Utah.
7-0 TCU is the score there against Utah. TCU, with that win, of course, would stay ahead all likelihood of Cincinnati. Brian Anger's done a nice job putting in recent weeks for Cal. And Bug Wright, boy, caught that, got away, and then can't get outside. And now Arizona hurts their cause, which is one of the things you worry about in that situation, Glenn. Do you just fair catch it and take the field positions? Now they're going to get backed up.
Yeah, I think one of the things you have to do is you have to tell your return guy, listen, if it's a high punt, if it's going to benefit you, just take the fair catch. We don't want to hold. We don't want to fumble. We want to get the ball with 2 minutes to go and have a chance to score. We don't want to hurt our cause.
They'll still have the ball with decent position, but looks like they'll get backed up. Although we have a conference here to decide.
Now the question for Cal is...
The flag on the field was an illegal block in the back on the return. However, after consultation, it was determined it was a side block. Therefore, there is no foul on the play.
All right, I don't know. That tells me that the guy didn't see what he saw. I don't know how that works. So if I'm Cal, I might be a little... I might be Coach Tedford there. He has to say, wait a minute, I don't... Well, either saw it or you didn't.
Nick Foles, who just engineered that touchdown drive, gets a shot here with 1:52 and a timeout. Plenty of time here for Arizona starting at their own 44.
Question for Cal is, how do you defend? Do you attack? Do you bring pressure? Do you try to stop this offense in its tracks? Very tough.
Rush 4. Up the middle, wide open man. Roberts again. And he's the guy that they're running up the middle and getting open. Glenn? Dave Roberts, first down Arizona. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Ted, really some high praise from Mike Stoops this week talking about his young sophomore quarterback as they now get to the hurry-up offense. But he said before he was a starter, he was in the film room at 6 a.m. watching tape, still doing the same thing. And as long as he's patient, takes what the defense gives him, he'll be all right. Let's see what he does here.
Quick out. Down to the 35-yard line. Caught by William Wright, Bug Wright, the punt return specialist, 35-yard line. Clock running. Arizona's got plenty of time here. With a timeout. And Cal rushes 4. Underneath cross, running room for Kreiner. Oh, and he held the ball despite a pretty good stick by Josh Hill of Cal. But the Wildcats are now in business. First down inside the 25.
Boy, again, that drag, when you've got wide receivers and you can run them across that formation, you can get just a little separation, and that makes for yardage as opposed to vertical separation.
Look at the O-linemen all standing up to pass block. Not even getting down into a three-point stance. And Wright just goes down. Tackled there by Nabufi, just enough to get Bug Wright down. Otherwise, he could have danced down that far sideline.
Yeah, and Stoops takes his time out here, and he has to, because Bug Wright, if he keeps any type of balance, he gets 8-9 yards and gets out of bounds. Right. It's a different situation.
So it's the final Arizona timeout at 46 seconds. At halftime, we'll check out all the big men around the country, as our guys in the studio will update you on the Nissan Heisman Watch with Bill Patrick, Roland Williams, Christian Fourier. And I'm going to tell you a guy that should be in there, and you're going to see him next Saturday on Versus. And because I'll say it, because it's on the West Coast, you don't get the love. Toby Gerhart. All he did again today was 169 and 3 touchdowns at USC, 1,386 yards rushing and 19 touchdowns, and his name is never mentioned in the Heisman talk.
I completely agree with you that he should be in there. He is a guy that there's a lot of guys though that just won't get the praise. Jerry Hughes at TCU.
Yes.
There's another name that should be in. He's a DN.
He's your guy.
He'll never get there.
He's your guy.
And I do believe you have something when you say he's on the West Coast. People are asleep back east. I lived back there for a while. I know what it's like.
Toby Gerhart and Stanford will play on Versus next Saturday in prime time for many of you against these California Golden Bears. And that's a false start. The left guard up too soon, and Arizona loses 5.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Big Conan Amatuanai, excuse me. He has been injured with a knee, has not played much and played at all the last few weeks, so his time is a little off. Now he's got to be smart. You do that, you kind of turn and go talk to the quarterback, then get back and see they don't think he's starting to play.
Now at the 27-yard line for Arizona. It is second down. And they get the penalty back plus one a little bit to DeLaShawn Dean to the 19-yard line. So they're now well within the range of Alex Zendejas. That clock didn't look like it started.
I don't think the clock started until they actually moved the ball up.
Arizona got a break there. That clock did not start when it should have. Well, that ball low and incomplete, and that was a break for Cal. Low throw to Roberts at the 5, 26 seconds.
Yeah, and he was open. If that ball is up at all, it's possibly a touchdown. So now they have to go for a field goal. Now that motion penalty really comes into play.
So the scoreboard clock shows 26, and I think that's the difference. Our clock had 23, but they didn't start on the previous play. They did not start here, the game clock on the snap. So either way, it's Alex Zendejas, 36 yards. His longest this year, 37. He is from the great Zendejas kicking family. 4 uncles who all kicked in the pros. And Alex Zendejas drills this through. And Arizona 10-6 now with 22 seconds before halftime as we enter this closing stretch in the Pac-10. Glenn, who do you like?
Well, player of the year has got to be Toby Gerhart. The guy has done everything he's been asked to. He's taken that team on their back, and with the help of Luck and the coaching staff, they've done great. Defender of the year, Taylor Mays, you know, they lost a lot of people, and he's still leading that team in tackles, doing a great job. I got to give Coach of the Year to Mike Stoops. He's turned around a program. They got their first bowl win last year in 10 years, and they're back looking for more this year. And my surprise team, how do you not go with Stanford? How do you not go with what Harbaugh has done there and what they're doing? First-time bowl eligible since 2001.
And it's good love for Stoops. I think Jim Harbaugh's in the mix for Coach of the Year, too. Yes. And here's Toby Gerhart. Now, just think about this. Toby Gerhart, who's also an outstanding baseball player, and he has to make that career choice coming up. Remember another guy at Stanford who wore number 7?
Let me think.
That had the same career choice?
Yes, he did.
And he made the right one.
He made the right one.
Speaking of John Elway.
And going back to Toby Gerhart for a moment, what people don't realize is his balance and his finesse that he plays with. He's not just a bruising back. I mean, that's right. Pretty special.
Here's the kick bouncing along the ground down by California. And it's interesting, I asked Nick Foles last night, said, who'd you pattern your game after as a quarterback? And he said 2 names. One of them was John Elway, which I said, of course, you know, that's off film. Yeah. off NFL classics. We have a flag down back where the
illegal formation on the kicking team. Only 4 men on this side of the kicker.
Oh, okay. Well explained by Michael Batlin.
Oh, okay.
The rule changes that have been put in place to balance the field on kickoffs. To tack on. Nick Foles, believe it or not, the other quarterback he said he loved watching, and remember Nick Foles grew up in Austin, grew up a huge Texas Longhorns fan, was Major Applewhite. He said, I patterned my game after Major Applewhite.
Yeah, and he was able to, you know, he grew up in a football town, in a football state, so he saw Major Applewhite. But like you say, going back to film study, now I'm a contemporary of John Elway's. I played in the league with him, so let's be careful how old we try to make him, if you don't mind.
No, I was making Nick Foles young.
Oh,
That's what I was doing, Glenn. Think of it that way.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
All right, tack on after the return, actually the fall by California. Bears have 3 timeouts, so they have shots here. They can let Riley go down the field. See if they can get their kicker one chance. And there's a high ball to the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Marvin Jones with Devin Ross cover.
And now this is where it's tough to be an offensive line. You've got a D-line that's fast to begin with, and you know that you're just going to sit there and throw the ball. And boy, you hate to be an offensive lineman at this point.
So you see the Cal lineman doing the same thing, up just kind of in a crouch there. Ready to pass block for Riley. Deep out. There's a catch, and they've got a shot. Moran Tucker.
Well, we
got out of bounds, so Cal has a chance here.
The last kick was a 46-yarder that he made, so we know where he's at on that.
Tavecchio has made a 51 this year. He does have a 51, so which means they need a little bit more.
Well, yeah, because that 46-yarder he kicked to open up the scoring at 3-0 was barely over the crossbar.
But they have Cal's got timeouts here, so they can throw a ball to the middle.
Sure. Take the timeout, get the field on, and kick it.
.36 of Arizona is the line of scrimmage. They're going to buy time and then throw it away, and they can still run one more if it's quick.
They're going to have to take it, and it's got to be quick, but it's also you got to be careful. If you can get over the first down, you know they'll stop and you can move it and you can call your timeout and you'll be fine. But how much are you going to gain versus what you might lose here? So they have to be very careful with what they choose to do.
See Jeff Tedford no longer calling plays. It's Andy Ludwig, who came from Utah this year. Of course, he did a great job working with Brian Johnson and the Utah offense. He's calling plays from the booth.
And as far as coaches go, one of the joys to work with. I've had a chance to do a lot of Utah games the past few years. One of those guys makes your job very, very easy.
Right, they have a quick pass play. There it is, and that's exactly what you need. Timeout. Well done by Cal. And they give their kicker Tavecchio a better shot on a pass to Alex Lageman. 29 will be the line of scrimmage. Giorgio Tavecchio grew up in Moraga, which is just over the hills here, about 10 miles or so from the Berkeley campus.
I think everything is over the hills from the Berkeley campus. We're sitting in the middle of the hill.
Yeah,
you know, it's amazing. I didn't realize it until I walked the campus yesterday, and everywhere I went, I was on a pitch.
Exactly. There's no level lie. You don't get a level stance on the Berkeley campus. You're right about that. So Tavecchio's made 2 today. For the year, he's now 6 for 9.
A great job by Cal because they know they're not getting the ball coming out in the second half. Arizona does. So they made the most of that possession to get themselves these points, if indeed they get them.
Brock Manchin, backup quarterback for California, is the holder. 46 yards. Tavecchio gets it up there, and he got it through there. That's well done by California, especially that last play that the Bears called to give Tavecchio a much more realistic chance. And so that's really a bonus 3 points, Glenn.
Oh, it absolutely is. And good leg behind that ball. Impressive for Tavecchio, just how well he's kicked the ball so far today.
All right, Arizona with the lead. Lewis Johnson.
All right, Mike, a bit of frustration there giving up that field goal at the end.
Well, yeah, it started, I guess we had the illegal formation on the kickoff, but gave them some field position. They took advantage of it, got a late field goal. But I liked the way we played better in the second quarter, started to gain some momentum and kind of lost it here at the end. But we knew it was going to be a tough game.
All right, thanks. See you at the second half. Ted?
All right, Lewis. Mike Stoops in Arizona off the field with the lead. 10-9 at the half. Dusk here in Northern California. We'll go back east to Bill Patrick, Roland Williams, Christian Fourier. The Geico halftime show next from our Versus studio.
All right, Ted Robinson, thanks a million.
Kevin Riley. We were here with Versus, Kevin Riley's first ever start at Californian. The game against Oregon State when Cal had a chance to be #1 in the country 2 years ago. Riley tried to make a play happen. He ran on the final play of the game when Cal did not have a timeout. Could not get a field goal off. The memorable sight of Jeff Tedford slamming his play card down in frustration, just the emotions of the moment. I think, talk to Cal people, I think everybody's learned a lot from that moment. The incredible growth of Riley. Jeff Tedford recognizing he had to no longer call plays. Here's a big run back for Arizona out across the 30 goes Travis Cobb. Speaking of Jeff Tedford, just a moment ago, Lewis Johnson caught up with him.
Jeff, 3 field goals so far. How do you jumpstart this offense, finish some drives, and put 6 on the board?
Well, that's what's important is we've got down in there and didn't put it away. We fumbled the ball down in there at one time. That's been the emphasis. That was a talk at halftime. We need to finish drives.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Well, that's it. 3 field goals for Cal, and for 2 of them, red zone field goals.
Yeah, and every coach harps on when you're in the red zone, you come away with touchdowns. That's how you win games. Arizona and its losses, Arizona and its games has had the same problem that Cal has had in the first half tonight.
Oh, Antolin got away in the flat. That winds up being a good gain. Missed tackle there by Michael Kendricks, linebacker for Cal, who got a start tonight as Cal's been trying to find the right combination of linebackers. They have to replace a very talented group that graduated.
Yeah, and I think when you watch them on film, the problems they've had have been in coverage with their linebackers. Tonight they seem to have found the combination they like.
Ooh, there was a gamble. Going for the pick 6 was Eddie Young. Incomplete pass intended for DeLaShawn Dean.
Yeah, and Eddie Young was all over that ball. It was a good look by him. He got to the flat. He was at the launch, right where the launch point, right where the ball was going. He was there. Unfortunately, doesn't come away with the ball. Now you wonder, does that scare Nick Foles? According to the coaches, no. This doesn't get to him.
So here goes Arizona starting the half without a huddle. 3rd and 3. 48% for the year on 3rd downs. Flags. Now here's another little nugget from the first half and into the 3rd quarter, Glenn
Prior to
Parker.
the snap, false start, number 74 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Arizona is the least penalized team in the Pac-10 this year. That's 5 so far tonight.
And they average 5 per game. So Mike Stoops not happy with that stat, I'll tell you that. And here you go from a makeable 3rd down to a 3rd and 8. You go from flipping field position, now just hoping to get something back in field position.
And the gun folds. All day to throw into traffic. Picked on the tip. Josh Hill. And California in business as it looked like Foles forced one.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. He went right into the teeth of coverage. The ball gets tipped, obviously, but you take a look here. He's going to wait, and he's going to wait. It's going to come right at you where he throws his ball. And take a look at the amount of defenders there. There's 4 defenders in that picture, 1 offensive player after the ball's tipped. You can't win very often forcing the ball like that.
And Riley getting ready to go, and I was seeing the replay there. I'll amend my comment. That was off the hands of Dean. It was not tipped by a Cal player. That's a ball that the receiver should have had.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have a direct snap. It's Vereen. First down play, a direct snap to the running back, and Vereen runs it for a short gain. But nonetheless, California is doing well in the turnover category, turnover takeaway, which has been a strength for the Bears this year.
And when you do that and you run the ball effectively and you don't get penalized, you're going to win some ball games.
Right now, Cal is +2 tonight, +10 for the year. Arizona is -2 for the year in turnovers. Green again on the direct snap. Green to the 30-yard line, which will leave California with 3rd and 5. Brooks Reed on the tackle.
Well, when they've gone to this Wildcat formation or whatever it is they term it, Arizona has not been afraid of the pass at all. So they're playing the run completely and just saying, if you're going to throw, we'll see what happens. So now Cal faced with a certain body.
Cal's plus 10 turnovers leads the Pac-10 by a wide margin. Riley in the game now on 3rd and 5. Incomplete. Looks to be a slight bit behind Veron Tucker. Devin Ross cover.
Behind Veron Tucker and right into where Devin Ross could get his hand in there to make that play. If that falls out a little farther, you might have yourself a first down.
And so that's frustrating for the California side to get a pick and not be able to punch it home and have to rely here on a 47-yard try for Tevecchio. He hit 46 in the first half.
And just barely, so we'll see if his leg has gotten stronger.
And to this end of the field, that one short and wide.
Well, there you credit the defense of Arizona coming up with a big-time stop and getting the ball back for the offense.
Frustration for Cal. Arizona still the lead. So Arizona's still the lead, early third quarter in Berkeley. Here's our Papa John's Pac-10 leaders in touchdown passes. Kevin Riley and Jake Locker of Washington tied for the lead. Starting play on this day.
You take a look at Foles there with only 6 games under his belt at 12, so he's done a good job. And we know what Canfield and Luck have done for their respective teams.
Nick Foles, 15 of 23 tonight. 119 yards in the air and 1 intercept. Viola Anterlin. One big run in the first half, otherwise bottled by California.
Yeah, Cal has done a great job. That defensive line, Alualu, Tapote, Jordan doing a great job getting their pads low, driving through, making them no lane for Keola Antlin to get through and get a big run. He's had that one, as you said, but after that, he has been completely bottlenecked.
And it's another game. Looks to be the third straight now that Nick Grigsby will not play for Arizona. He's a guy Grigsby's averaging 7.5 a carry. As big for Arizona as Jahvid Best has been for Cal. Each side missing their explosive back. Foles the deep shot for Gronkowski.
Well, Foles had him, and Gronkowski started looking over his shoulder too soon and actually slowed up. If he'd have just kept the pattern going, he might have been there. But he actually started looking back before the ball was ready to be thrown, and that slowed him down, and that allowed the ball to sail a little bit long.
And that gets Arizona to the long third.
And now this is where we saw the turnover the last time, 3rd and long. And once again, it's about field position. So you got to get something and then get a good punt if you don't get the first down.
Darian Hagenin, extra defensive back for California. There's a 4th down. That's all they rush. High arcing ball near side, incomplete. Thrown deep for Jaron Kreiner down the near side. So
Nick Foles puts his hands up there, thought he had him open and overthrew him.
That's an interesting stat they keep now, Glenn. Arizona, that's a 3 and out. Their offense has been so good. They average only 1.4 3 and outs per game. That's the 4th lowest in the country.
Yeah, they do a good job of converting on 3rd downs, as we said, and this was their first 3 and out of the game, I believe.
Yep, first one tonight. 3rd punt for Keenan Cryer. Jeremy Ross for California. Short, wobbling kick, and does not do anything on the bounce for Arizona. So not much there. 35 net on that punt, and Cal will start at their 35.
So a great job by your defense. If you're Cal, you've held them twice. You've got the ball in great field position. Come up short once. You got to come on strong right here so you can win the 3rd quarter. Winning the 3rd quarter is something every coach, no matter what level of football, talks about. You have to win the 3rd quarter, put yourself in a position to win the game.
Has not been a good punting night so far for Cryer. Averages 41 a punt gross, and he's only at 36 tonight. So Riley and California back to work. Inside, Vereen trying to find somewhere, stringing out the run. A nice final push to gain a couple.
We've said that all night. A great final push. Vereen there is stopped at a yard loss, maybe a no gain, and he managed to get himself 2 yards. That's the type of thing that adds up over the course of a game into a lot of yards and a lot of time of possession.
Vereen now 17 carries for, 18 for 56 tonight. They have not used the second back, a redshirt freshman, Koban Devosky Johnson, has not played much. Cal said they were anxious to see him play earlier in games. Riley, good throw up the middle, an open man. Alex Lageman, and a first down across midfield.
Well, you take a look here. What they're going to do is they're going to find a void right behind Vuna Tuhuialamaka, number 8. Top of your screen. Right again, they sit down in that little window behind Vuna and in front of the safety, Robert Golden. So Tuhuialamaka, and I'll just call him Vuna, it's easy for me. Behind him and in front of Golden, there's a window, and they've exploited it all night long.
Second catch for Alex Lageman tonight. 10th completion for Riley in 17 tries. At the Arizona 46. He stops just in time, goes for everything, but it's underthrown and picked by Arizona's Cam Nelson. Riley had a man, and he underthrew Mayan Boateng, the receiver.
You watch Boateng here, you're going to get the ISO top of your screen, working on Devin Ross, a little bit of a skidder. Now he turns the burners on, but Cam Nelson underneath playing center field actually beat on the play. If the ball is thrown well, it's a touchdown. It's thrown under. You take Riley. Riley not happy with throwing that pick.
And we referenced at the beginning how rare that is. That's only the 4th interception thrown this year by Kevin Riley. And each side has had a ball. Bowles had one in the first quarter. That would have been a touchdown on his side, underthrown.
I stressed before the game, the reason he doesn't have a lot of picks is because he throws it where only his guy can get it. That time he threw it right where the center fielder was.
And straight ahead, Arizona trying to punch the ball out from their goal line. Antolin gets short yardage. Mike Muhammad, the leading tackler, not just for California, but in the entire Pac-10 conference. 4th tackle tonight. California had a fabulous core of linebackers, and Bob Gregory, their D coordinator, told us the toughest player to replace this year, Zach Follett, their linebacker, now plays for the Detroit Lions. Muhammad has tried his best to fill that gap. Single back Antolin. Quick ball to get Turner some running room. And that punches it out across the 10. We are in Berkeley, California. The Arizona Wildcats trying to keep alive their dream. They've never won an outright Pac-10 football championship, 31 years in the conference. They've never repped the Pac-10 in the Rose Bowl. And next week, they're hoping to go home and have maybe the biggest game in their football history. If they win this game and go home next week to play Oregon.
Yeah, and I'm afraid that from all indications we're looking at, maybe they didn't realize how good Cal is.
Bowles gets away. That's a dangerous play. Gets away again. Trying to run up the sideline, and he'll be marked just short of the first at the 13-yard line.
Well, there's where we talk about his size and how big he is. I mean, here he is. You take a look. He's on the goal line. Straight arm. He's right along it. Straight arm. And now he doesn't exactly take off, does he?
No.
He's not neither he nor Riley are guys that are going to burn you with their feet.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, Tyson Alualu, who's a fabulous defensive end, he bounced off Nick Foles like he was nothing. Like Alualu's nothing.
Well, you referenced that you saw him in the hotel and how big he is. He's a big kid, and he's very strong. You know, these kids nowadays, even the quarterbacks, they're in that weight room all the time. They're strong. They're built.
Cal again with Jeremy Ross to receive, figures to get good field position. Oh, that's a poor punt. The Cryer's really having trouble tonight. He is just not punted well, and this one a huge gift for California. We'll wait for the final mark. 27-yard line.
When you cannot go on the road and punt badly, your punter has to be your best defensive player. If you're going to go on the road, it's about field position, and it's about forcing the other team to make long drives, and so far Arizona has not done that.
So that's just a shank. 14-yard punt. And California will start at the Arizona 27. Let's go down to the field. Lewis Johnson.
All right, Ted, well, for 15 of the California Golden Bears, this is their final home game. Seniors playing their last game here, and including linebacker Eddie Young. Here's his dad, his brother Sean, who graduated here last year. And Henry, what's it like to watch your son play high school ball here, play here at Cal, and now playing in his final game?
It's been amazing, actually. You know, this has been a very emotional day for me to know that after 6 years, this is the last game that I'll possibly be on this field watching one of my sons play.
And I'll have to stop you here because we've got a big play in the end zone, Ted.
Well, that's California finally breaking through on a terrific catch by Skylar Curran.
A great job by Skylar Curran, keeping his eyes on the ball. Devin Ross never turns to look at the ball. Simply plays his face. Curran goes up and gets it.
Pass interference on the defense, number 6. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown is good.
Tight end, senior Skylar Curran. Second touchdown catch.
Now you'll take a look here. All day to throw. He does a good job moving about in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. Now just lets it fly. Now look at Devin Ross. Devin Ross never turns. I don't know if I'd call it interference, but I would call it a great catch by Skylar Curran, going up, grabbing that ball.
And now with the lead at 5, what you see coaches do frequently, and going for 2, trying to get the number to 7. Cal choosing the left hash. Let Riley have the wide side of the field to his strength. And they're going to fake a fly sweep. And Riley is smothered. Out of bounds, no good on the conversion. So California takes the lead, but Sterling Lewis brings down Riley on the failed 2-point play. But Riley's touchdown pass gives California the lead. Cal back in front, third quarter in Berkeley. And a reminder, the NHL season's heating up on Versus. Monday night, Devils and Flyers as Zach Parise leads the Devils into Philadelphia. And then Tuesday, Marian Gaborik and the Rangers squaring off against the Capitals. Hockey, Monday and Tuesday nights. Both nights at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The NHL on Versus. Tavecchio to kick for California. Nick Booth, Travis Cobb deep for Arizona. It wasn't a turnover, but a short punt, 14-yard punt that set Cal up. And on the first play, they took advantage. That kick dives on the sideline, forces Cobb to pick it up. Cobb able to run it out across the 25. So, Glenn Parker, California, and you see that whether it's a short punt, which is in essence a turnover, oftentimes first play, strike for it all.
Yeah, you look at the boundary to the top of the screen as we freeze it right here. Quarterback hasn't rolled. He's sitting in the pocket. All defenders are to this side of the boundary. There's a one-on-one on that side. Take a look. When that ball's thrown, the safety, everybody else has moved on the side of the boundary. It's a one-on-one situation. You throw it up, you got a tall tight end on a small DB. Nice job of moving the pocket and sucking all the safeties over.
So Antolin in the line for a short game. All right, let's go back down to Lewis. Part 2, Lewis.
Exactly. Hey, Henry Young is excited about the disruption with the touchdown, but let's go back to pregame when you were out there with Eddie and he was being honored as a senior. What was that moment like for you?
It was very emotional because I knew after 6 years, this was it, you know, and to watch him go to high school in Berkeley, to play at Cal, and his brother play at Cal, it was just, you know, it was very touching for me.
Sean, you've got the camera there. You're sort of first senior last year. What do you remember about that and kind of what it means now to watch your brother finish up?
Well, I know how important this is. You know, your last game, I felt I had to document this. So, you know, I'm doing it for him. I know he'll appreciate it one day. And, you know, it's amazing to see him out here right now.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the game. And the father here, these guys own a production company, so they can just take the equipment from the shelves and bring it out to document some of these big, important family members. Well, great job, guys.
Lewis, last time you were here, that was Deshaun Jackson's family doing that same thing. Well, Arizona trying to run. No success. 3rd and 6.
They didn't win on first, second down. They put themselves here. And California does not respect the down-the-field ball because they haven't been hit by it yet.
Not caught. Tip ball, and and then Michael Kendricks on the tip, and Bug Wright could not hang on. And I got to say right now, Glenn, the matchup in the Pac-10, Arizona is the #2 passing team in the conference. Cal is 9th in pass defense coming in, and right now Cal's winning that fight.
Cal's winning because their linebackers are playing very good within their coverage. They're keeping all intermediate throws down, so Arizona is not able to get the ball anywhere underneath at this point, and that's where they make their bread and butter.
How about this? 2 3 and outs for Arizona. And Keenan Pryor moving a little bit to his right there. Gets better leg on it. Not great, but at least into California territory. The Bears, though, will still have very good field position when we come back to Berkeley on Versus. Now there's some brave. It's gotten a little chilly here when the sun goes down this time of year in Northern California. But really, Glenn, back to another key of yours. So far, first half of the third quarter, Cal's won it.
Yeah, Arizona has made hay by winning first quarters and third quarters. Cal dominated the first quarter, and Cal is dominating the third quarter. They're taking away exactly what Arizona does well.
Look at that field position. What an edge tonight. It's not been a good punting night for Arizona's Keenan Pryor, a very strong-legged kicker.
You know, people look at that and say, well, that's only 12 yards of difference on average. But when you're talking over the course of 15, 16 possessions, that's a lot of yardage.
Good defensive play there. Devin Ross on first down coming in off the flank to drop Shane Vereen. Devin Ross, 5 tackles already tonight.
We see Arizona going to pressure from the secondary on first down. Again, they did that in the first quarter as well to stop a drive.
California playing, obviously, to win their home finale, playing for bowl positioning. Jeff Tedford's established that as an annual writer in Berkeley. We've never had that before. Year in, year out success. Riley runs it short of the first. It'll be marked at the 48.
Short of the first, but a 10-yard gain, and now giving them a 3rd and 2. Exactly what Cal wants. Get a manageable third down. Get yourself farther down the field, win your field position. And remember, if you're Cal, you're winning the time of possession battle to begin with, and you're winning the field possession battle. You're taking everything that Arizona does well away.
So that's the Arizona defense that wants to stop in a 3 and out. 3rd and 3. Cal with the 2 backs, 2 tight ends set. There's a throw out of it. And he's sacked out of it.
Very lucky he didn't fumble that ball. He bobbled that ball up in the air and caught it right before Ricky Elmore got there for the sack.
That's 8.5 now in the season for Arizona junior Ricky Elmore.
Well, Ricky Elmore sniffed this one out. Not to mention Devin Ross was up there in coverage, so that took away the entire play from Kevin Riley. He's got to be a little more secure with that ball. It's got to scare your coach.
So Brian Anger to punt. And Bug Wright. Hopefully he can bust one here for Arizona.
He has been lights out tonight.
And a bobble, but a hold finally. 17-yard line is where Arizona will start with possession. This is the last Saturday where all 10 conference teams playing each other. And we're going to have another big day for Sean Canfield. UCLA. And for Washington State, they just, that's been, sadly for the Cougs, that's been pretty much the result every week.
I'm impressed by the Cougs, though. I haven't seen them give up yet. They're still playing hard every game for coach.
And I remember Oregon State, last year's Civil War game, the exception, generally outstanding finishers. They played great late in the year under Mike Riley. And Stanford, this outcome tonight could be huge. Stanford is absolutely, they're in the Rose Bowl mix. Little fly sweep give there to Bug Wright. Brought down. And what I mean by that is if Cal wins this game, that's a long way from happening, but if Cal wins this game, Arizona would have 2 losses, Oregon 1 loss, Stanford 2 losses, and Stanford has beaten both Arizona and Oregon. They'd win the tiebreak. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, Stanford lost to Arizona. My bad. Scratch that statement. That was the game that Stanford led going to the 4th quarter.
That's right.
And Arizona broke off 2 long touchdown runs to win.
Well, on that last play, Sidquan Thompson, your stud corner, came up and made a fantastic tackle to put Arizona behind the 8 ball yet again with a 2nd and long.
A lot of time, and he airs it out. Kreiner down the field. Well, that ball was thrown a mile by Nick Foles. Nabufi and Cattouse for Cal in double coverage.
Well, Kreiner open on the second post pattern. They ran 2 posts off the right side of your screen here. But this ball is so high in the air, there's so much air under it, it allows the safety to get back into play. See how high it goes, almost out of the camera. He's actually open, but that ball's just got so much air. Easy closing time for safety.
You're right, it was a 60-yard throw by Foles, but a lot of hang time.
A lot of hang time.
And Arizona, which has already had 2 3-and-outs in this third quarter, facing another one. They need Ted. Screen, Turner inside. Cut down by Saquon Thompson, who made 2 of the 3 plays on that possession.
We're going to look at it here. Saquon Thompson making big-time plays. He'll come from the opposite side. See him right there in the middle. Big-time hit out of him. Big-time hit out of Tyson Alualu. They're back there. They're playing fired up right now, and Arizona is completely out of rhythm on offense.
One of the 15 seniors for California playing their final home game tonight. Down with the game at Stanford and at Washington. Boy, that was a good save by Cryer on it. Not a good snap. He got his best kickoff tonight. But Ross able to run it back with a head of steam. And now Ross, outside right flank. Jeremy Ross with a wall. All the way down to the Arizona 30-yard line. 54 on the punt, 35 return.
Well, he finally gets a punt, but it's so low. You talk about out-kicking your coverage. Here's a beautiful example of it. The ball is so low, probably lower than the last throw by Foles.
That's right.
that here comes the return. Now, he gets one guy, one cut, and there he is. He's off and running. I'm very lucky that Arizona did not get a roughing play here at the end of this play. And here you see it in actual speed time. Watch at the end. Very lucky Arizona does not get an unnecessary roughness penalty here.
A knock out of bounds there. I've seen those called this year.
Yeah, you've seen them called. That's the deal.
So California starts from the Arizona 31. And Riley pressured. It won't be a sack. He advanced past the line of scrimmage.
But you just said that best. How many times tonight have we said it should have been a loss, and it wasn't? They got 2 yards. Should have been a loss of 15, but they managed to get 9. Should have been a loss of 2, but they managed to get 1. Should have been a sack, and now they managed to get 2. Just great heads-up play across the board by Cal's offense. They're constantly moving forward.
DeAndre Reed made the tackle for Arizona. Riley gets a 2-yard gain on the play. Arizona offense with 3 3-and-outs in the third quarter. Cal trying to capitalize. Marine, big gap. And a first down for California at the 16.
And right now, Cal's offense is feeding off their defense, and they're both feeding off of special teams. They've got a rhythm going now. You see this? You pull your big guard, Matt Summers, Gavin out and around, get a fullback block. Great job by Marine. Once again, finding the little gash, getting in there, falling forward, making the play.
Shane Vereen, now 20 carries for 67 yards. And Riley's thrown for more yards than Nick Foles so far tonight. Not something we would have expected. Blitz. And that's going to get picked. What a mistake by Riley. And Arizona does smartly down the ball in the end zone. Joe Perkins with a huge pick for Arizona.
The type of play that can completely change a game. There's Riley very upset at himself. He laid it up into center field once again. We talked, why hasn't he thrown interceptions? Because he's always put it where only his guy can get it. This time he puts it right back into the safety. Joe Perkins sitting there. And Perkins does a smart thing and sits down.
So Glenn, was he expecting Loggeman, the receiver, to be in that area? He's not throwing it away.
Right? I think he was throwing away. I don't think he saw Perkins.
And Arizona is going to change up here after that pick. Matt Scott, sophomore, who started the year in Corona, California, comes in for Nick Foles.
Much more of a running threat is Matt Scott. The zone read with him now becomes a threat.
And Scott keeps left. All right, so give us a sense, Glenn. Put yourself in Sonny Dykes' head. What's the thinking here?
We don't have rhythm. We can't win on first down, and we're not throwing the ball well enough to beat them. So we have to come up with something to change the tempo. And that's get me a quarterback who can run, get me a first down win. Now we got 2nd and 2. That's what Sonny Dykes is thinking.
Sonny Dykes, the offensive coordinator for Mike Stoops. Matt Scott relieving Nick Foles. Inside Antolin driving, got the first down. Now California with a chance to go up 2 scores. And the pick in the end zone by Joe Perkins. And now Arizona gets a first down, which is a start for them. And they're still within 1 touchdown.
Yeah, and this is not unlike what happened in the first quarter and into the second quarter where Cal dominated but found themselves down. And now here they are. They dominated the third quarter as we're heading into the fourth. And if they give up a touchdown, they find themselves down again.
Matt Scott thrown for 443 yards this year. There's time playing. Going to run it. Squirms forward to gain 2. And we'll likely get 1 more third quarter play. Oregon playing tonight. They hold their home field against Arizona State. The Ducks will lead the conference unless Arizona can flip this game in the fourth quarter.
The thing that Arizona State has is a fantastic run defense. And if they can force Masoli to throw for Oregon, they might have a chance.
Second and 8 from the gun. Scott runs it again. And gets out to the 38. 6'3", but not nearly. You can see not nearly as big as Nick Foles. Still pretty brave running that ball in the middle of the line. And Arizona will have a third down play facing them when we go to the fourth quarter. Once upon a time, that historic Coit Tower was the tallest building in San Francisco. Like most cities are built by a lot of large things. Here's what is at stake in this fourth quarter for Arizona. You see Stanford already with 6 conference wins. And remember, the Pac-10 is the only conference that forces its teams to play a full round robin. They don't let, like the SECs and the Big Tens, they don't let you schedule those extra easy cupcake wins.
Yeah, and I like it that way. The Pac-10 has a true champion, unlike any other. Well, Arizona has averaged having to get 7.4 yards on third down. This one a little shorter. They get this, they can flip the field position.
And Nick Foles back in for this third down snap. Complete and looks like a first. We'll wait for the mark on the pass to David Douglas. Sophomore David Douglas with the catch, and it is an Arizona first.
And what a big hit by Bryant Nabuthi. He comes up here and lays it right on the hip of David Douglas. Well, I tell you what, that's why you don't want to be a wide receiver right there. Something like that. You can't see them coming, and they hit you hard. Nabuthi there getting his start tonight.
Evan Riley only 3 interceptions all year, but 2 tonight that are keeping Arizona alive in the game. Foles in trouble. This time he can't get away. Devin Bishop.
Well, you talk, he'd only been sacked 4 times coming into the game, and this is what kills you as an offensive lineman. You run a naked, and you take a look here. Offensive line swings to the left. He's naked to the right, no one in front of him. So you feel like you gave up a sack here. Great job coverage by Cal. Great job wrapping up by the defender. Across the board, Cal was on that play from start to finish, allowed him to get nothing.
Guess what position Glenn Parker played, folks?
Can you tell? I feel for both of the lines in this game. It's part of the game, and you know, you think about it, offensive line is the only position in any sport where you can't see the object of the game.
Oh, and there's an incidental hit that's going to cost Cal big time. Brett Johnson getting flagged on a pass intended for Dave Roberts.
Brett Johnson's known as the big hitter.
Accidental, perhaps. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Brett Johnson known as the big hitter in that secondary. Here he comes up. He plays the man, not the ball.
Right.
Just like we talked about with Arizona. Same call. There it is.
I'm going to retract. That's not accidental.
No. He came up to hit him.
Yeah, he did. And again, we've had one go each way. I'm not sure that ball was catchable.
Yeah, but you know, and that's why the defender needs to be smarter than that. You got to know, I have to time it better, or I've got to play the ball.
And so a break for Arizona. First down at the 50. Antolin deep. Gronkowski slides out. Arizona looks like they're staying away now from the run. Just going to throw it. Ball's got a man. Juggled and held inside the 25 by A.J. Simmons.
There's a tight end you don't see often in this offense. With the injury to Rob Gronkowski, A.J. Simpson hasn't had a lot of chances. You see Foles back there. Everybody had a deep route on, and when he moved, A.J. Simmons was able to move away from Brett Johnson and find that little window to get open.
Homecoming game for A.J. Simmons from neighboring Oakland, California. And a catch, big catch there that gives Arizona the ball at the Cal 24. Post, incomplete for Dean.
And what an absolutely smart play by Sean Cattouse. We have seen it all night. Go up, hit a guy, and they throw the flag. He does a great job, puts his hands up. I didn't touch him before the ball ever gets there. He makes it easy for the official not to make a call.
Sean Cattouse, a sophomore that became a starter during the year. California had a multi-year starter, Marcus Ezep, a senior. But Marcus Ezep needed a class to graduate that was only offered Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons. And he decided to take that class. He could only practice one full day a week. And Sean Cattouse has taken that starting spot. Hand off to Antolin, and Jeff Tedford, to his credit, has said, listen, most important thing, Marcus Ezep's getting his degree.
And that shows you about this college, this university here. Shows you about Jeff Tedford, that the kids who come here to play, education's number one. They're a student athlete. They're student first.
Ezep did start the year in the position, but his play suffered, and Cattouse earned it. And Cal said his play was strong enough. He earned the job. Now, third down and 9 for Arizona. 4 receivers, 2 each side for Nick Foles. To the end zone for Dean, who got tangled. Is there a flag? Let's see one.
Apparently not.
Yeah, there is. There it is. It was obscured, but it was thrown against Darian Hagan.
Yeah, the defender it looked as if they had Delashawn Dean's
pass interference.
Shoulder pads.
Defense number 26. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We're going to get a look at it right here. I want you to look. Watch. He's got a good grip underneath, and now watch, he grabs that shoulder pad right there. That was enough. They have to turn the shoulders and create the penalty.
And you said I wouldn't want to be a receiver, and that's the kind of place I would want to be a defensive back.
No, yeah, you're on an island for sure.
Exactly right. And you don't get, there's not a single rule in the book to help the defensive back.
No. You know what? Defensive back, and I'll go back. Defensive backs, offensive linemen, they're in the same position. Everybody looks to see what you've done wrong, not what you do right.
So Arizona, there were 2 important penalties to help this drive advance it now inside the 10. Big left for Foles. And it's caught for a touchdown by A.J. Simmons.
Well, we spoke that A.J. doesn't get the ball very often, and on that drive, 2 huge completions for A.J. Simmons. One on a very long play to get the ball down the field a bit, and then this touchdown. And they're going to end up, look like they'll go for 2 to make it a field goal possession.
2 pass interference penalties against California on that drive, and Arizona took advantage. And 2 big passes to A.J. Simmons on that drive.
Well, one thing is, if you're going to be a good team, you're going to be a champion, when somebody gives you something, you take advantage. Cal took advantage of field possession. Arizona takes advantage of a couple of penalties.
They keep the ball. Arizona keeps it right in the middle of the 2-point try. Dean in motion. Quick throw, and it's not caught.
Ball was tipped. It looked like, I couldn't see who got a hand on that ball.
Dave Roberts, the intended receiver, so both teams have failed on a 2-point try.
Well, Arizona, after a long drive, finds A.J. Simmons here. They get the touchdown, and Arizona's going to go up 16-15, and Nick Foles likes what he's done.
In selling this place, this is where I sat on all.
That last pass from Nick Foles to A.J. Simmons, putting Arizona back in front. Each team has gone for 2 on their last score and failed. So it's leveled off, a 1-point Arizona lead. Still almost a full quarter to play. John Bonanno, a walk-on, short kick here though. Not been able to drive the ball tonight in this cooler Berkeley air. And Jeremy Ross covered nicely by Arizona out to the 22. Lewis Johnson.
Well, Ted, as Kevin Riley jogs back out on the field, it's clear that Cal needs another score. Jeff Tedford told us this week that Riley doesn't get too high with his successes, doesn't get too low when things don't go right. Now, I watched him after throwing that second pick late in the third quarter. The expression on his face never changed. He kind of had a chat on the phone, talked with his backup quarterbacks, and several players came back and hugged Riley, showing their support that he could lead them to a victory here in the fourth quarter.
All right, Lewis, it starts from the 22 of California. Flag there. Look at a false start.
I think they're going to go offsides on Arizona.
Oh, okay. Motion man there. Marvin Jones was not sure if he might have jumped. Let's see.
Well, if he had jumped, they might have stopped the play. It looked to me as if the
offside. Defense, number 52, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And it shows you how good that formation shift was, that's what you thought, because it does get you thinking a little bit there.
And Sterling Lewis instead is called for the infraction, so Cal gets a 1st and 5.
So they've won first down right off the bat.
On the 6th penalty against Arizona tonight. To the middle, just short of a first down. Well, coming up on December 2nd here on Versus, you'll find out what it takes to tackle the world's toughest sports jobs. All-Pro Junior Seau does the jobs that make sports really work. 2 new episodes. Wednesday, December 2nd, 10 Eastern on Versus.
That'd be a fun show to do, wouldn't it? Really get out there and see it all? Boy, that'd be fun.
What job? I'd nominate Sam Polis's job.
Well,
doubling up as statistician and spotter.
I'd have to agree with you.
Astounding.
And nobody does it better.
2nd down and 1. Direct snap to Vereen. And he gets the first across the 35. So to the 37 for California. Jeff Tedford, it's likely to be a 7th straight bowl season for California, which in the frustration by loyalists around these parts, because Cal was not able to contend with either USC or Oregon this year, the big picture is that this program has been relevant year in and year out for the first time.
Absolutely, and changing how a team is viewed over time is so important if it's for the good.
And up Vereen, short gain again. And really, Glenn, what Jeff Tedford has done here at Cal is what Mike Stoops appears to be in the beginning of doing at Arizona.
You're absolutely right. When Jeff Tedford got here, Cal had not been relevant. They were never in the national picture. They were never even in the title picture in the Pac-10. Arizona, which had always been somewhat relevant, was really in a downtime. You know, they talk about leaving the cupboards bare. I talk about when Mike Stoops got here, there were no cupboards in the kitchen. And he had to do a lot of rebuilding before he could start stocking the cupboards. And he's done that. They are changing what they've done. It's taken them 6 years, but here they sit right now contending for a Pac-10 title.
And again, if you have joined us throughout Arizona trying to win tonight to get to next Saturday at home against Oregon, pass to Vereen and into midfield. And if Arizona wins tonight, if they can win this game, Glenn, would that be the biggest game in Arizona football history? Has there been a bigger one?
I don't believe there's been a bigger game with more on the line. No, there's been big wins, but nothing that as much was on the line.
And that would be next Saturday, assuming that Arizona wins this game and Oregon wins tonight.
And here comes Cal moving the ball, doing a very effective job with Shane Vereen. You can't be more impressed with how he's played tonight and with the game that Andy Ludwig is calling to keep the ball moving down the field.
There's a big smack down to Sterling Lewis.
Sterling Lewis looks to be injured. He's holding that left arm down. We'll take a look at, he's coming from the backside, and he just runs this down from behind. Wraps up real well and falls very hard on his left shoulder. And now we see him come out of the ball game, go to the sideline for a little bit. They'll take a look at him.
His 6th tackle tonight. California trying to win and set up a big game, a rivalry game next Saturday with Stanford that will be seen here on Versus that could have a lot of meaning. If Cal wins this game, Stanford's still in the mix for the Pac-10 title after their win today at USC. Way down the field, and Vereen Tucker hangs on.
Well, he takes a big shot from Cam Nelson, and Cam likes his hit, but hey, this guy is open. He catches the ball. Great job by Kevin Riley of threading the needle, putting it in there. Arizona has done Cal has done a very good job all night of finding the void behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. You get a look at this, you'll get a look at how just how fast the gap closes and how hard he's hit.
Nice hang on there by senior Vereen Tucker. And Cal is at the Arizona 33. 19 on that pass to Tucker. Riley's thrown for 181 tonight. Vereen running is not getting a lot per carry, but Cal's being persistent. That's the 25th carry by Vereen, and Earl Mitchell makes his 7th tackle tonight for Arizona.
Well, you just said it best. They're being very persistent. They know the way to beat Arizona is to keep them off the field. And they're doing a great job of eating up clock and just moving the ball when they have to move the ball and getting the 2 yards when they have to get the 2 yards.
So they're less than 3, or just barely more than 3 a carry. Vereen is 25 now for 77. Second and 10. Inside give, and there's some yardage. And Vereen driving, gets a little boost at the end, and he may have a 1st down.
And what a great job by Vereen. What a great job by his offensive line, getting down there and pushing him to get a couple extra yards.
I knew you were going to pick that out, too.
Well, we're going to look here.
Somebody, I want to see who this is. Somebody came in and gave him some help at the end.
Where you're going to get the draw, and you see it. He comes rolling in, and it looks like I'm looking
there
at
it is, 72.
Mitchell Schwartz, who the coaches call the most physically talented of their offensive line. Yeah, but he's also got a nasty streak. You see it right there. Get a good push. It's not illegal to push the runner.
So that's 8 yards for Vereen and 2 yards for Schwartz.
That's right.
And a 1st down for Cal. And they go inside, and here is the redshirt freshman, Jahvid Johnson, getting the carry, his 1st tonight.
And this is a guy that Andy Ludwig was excited about seeing play in meaningful time, because the only time they've ever seen him has been in the 4th quarter when not much was happening or was on the line.
Well, it's 4th quarter.
There's a lot on the line, and he got a chance and made the most of it.
And that's what's intriguing about the way this game's unfolded. California has had a strange year. They've only had 1 close game so far this year. All their games but 1 have been one-sided. I'll tell you about that in a moment on 1st down. The only game is flag stop, but the only game Cal's played this year that was decided late in the 4th quarter was their game 2 weeks ago at Arizona State.
Ball start. 79. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
In that game, Riley took them down the field in the final minutes, and Cal kicked a field goal in the closing seconds to win.
Well, you have to like, a junior quarterback who's been through a lot and carries himself well and has been through the battle. When you get into a tight situation, you have to like what he brings to the table.
And now Riley going out as they set up the direct snap play to Vereen on 1st and 5.
They've got to throw out of this.
Vereen fakes. And I think every one of those snaps has been Vereen keeping, hasn't it?
I believe so. Let me take a look here. Take the fly sweep, follow Skurin around the end, and try to make someone miss and get yourself 4 or 5. The fans aren't happy with it, but I don't know what more they want. So far, they have done exactly what they need to do to win a ball game, doing exactly what they're doing.
Well, they're in position, at the very least, to take the lead. What Cal wants here is to finish this, put this in. 2nd and 10. Again to Vereen, and this time Arizona ready, right in the middle, and Errol Mitchell again playing a huge game for Arizona.
And you wonder when they're going to throw out of that, because Arizona is not respecting the pass out of the Wildcat. They're playing it, but they're not respecting it.
So 3rd and 9 for a first down, 10 for the end zone. Tough 3rd down night for the Bears.
Arizona brings in a little more speed at linebacker by bringing in Corey Hall. Again, if I'm looking for Skylar Curran, the big tight end.
Ocean-man Ross, give Vereen. He had a look, and Arizona closed it quickly. Robert Golden from the secondary brings down Vereen at the 5, and it'll force Cal to kick.
You're absolutely right. He did have a look. It looked like he was going to get there, and that's where you see the speed of the Arizona defense close that gap. It looks like he could get there. But Robert Golden, a very big safety, but a very fast safety, closes that gap and does a wrap-up tackle.
So Giorgio Tavecchio trying for his 4th field goal of the night and the lead for California. And you can see the time is becoming a significant factor as Tavecchio puts it through. California regains the lead. A lot of heavy work by Shane Vereen, replacing Jahvid Best.
College football on Versus is brought to you by Lowe's. For all your home improvement needs, Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Natty Light. Now you're talking.
Your Buffalo Wild Wings game reset. Cal chewed up enough time on that drive that this becomes perhaps a all-or-nothing possession for Arizona. 4 field goals by Tavecchio, a heavy workload for Shane Vereen. But Glenn, right now I look at Nick Foles' line. 165 yards passing. That's not enough for Arizona.
No, very pedestrian, not very good on 3rd down, that of course. But you're absolutely right. You look at this possession, you think Arizona really kind of has to start thinking, are they going to run a 4-minute offense here and try to just play for a last-second field goal to win it? Or are they going to take a few shots and see if they can open up a lead?
Tavecchio's hit. Putting his leg into that one. Travis Cobb has to start from near the goal line. Got away. Good run to and a saving trip up by the kicker. Tavecchio saved, maybe not 6, but saved a huge run back there by Travis Cobb.
And I noticed Tavecchio celebrating a little bit. Kicker should never celebrate a tackle.
All right, Arizona's play here is, do you think this is do they look at this as one possession for all of it?
I think you have to. I think the way you've been playing, you have to. You have to start thinking, all right, we're going to go 4-minute offense. That means eat clock. We're going to get first downs. We're going to run the ball if we're able to. And we might have to take a shot now and then.
So Nick Foles, the quarterback, took Arizona down for a go-ahead touchdown the last drive, but there were 2 pass interference penalties against Cal that helped. Foles being chased by Alualu, and then throws it into the Cal bench.
Arizona just has not been effective throwing the ball down the field or even attacking the linebackers the way I think that they really wanted to. So we're going to see what Sonny Dykes can come up with here to get a rhythm going and get something to where they can move it down the field.
Arizona averaging 448 yards of offense per game, 239 tonight, barely half their average.
Great job by Bob Gregory, the defensive coordinator for Cal, getting his guys ready to play and having a really good game plan.
Field spread for Foles. Pressure Jordan. Foles steps up, throws low, and a nice catch. DeLaShawn Dean did well, and Arizona has a first in Cal territory.
And Nick Foles almost looks a little trepidatious, like he doesn't really want to throw that ball. You take a look here, you're going to look at Delashawn Dean, he's just going to sit, find the void and sit. That's the entire offense. But that ball really underthrown. It does appear he got under it. They might review it. We'll see what if the officials decide to take a look.
Nothing yet. Well, that's a great job by Dean to get his hands underneath. And now the Cal challenge.
Hard to tell. It did come from that sideline.
I believe Jeff Tedford may have challenged this play. The question is, did Dean get his hands underneath that ball? Consultation obviously did not come from the booth.
Well, from the angle we saw, it appeared it got there.
Right, but I got to be honest, this is what I don't understand. Let's let Michael Batlin explain.
Cal is challenging the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field with a catch.
What I don't understand is we saw a ball in the first quarter that bounced 3 feet in front of the receiver, and the booth reviewed it. Now, as important as this time of the game is, how does the booth not at least want to look at this?
Well, I wish I could tell you, but we're going to.
I know you can't.
You can't tell there. Right there, there's not enough to overturn, so the play would stand. It might not confirm, but it would stand. Let's take a look at this
view, right?
And it certainly appears his arms are under it there. So from that view, there appears there is not enough to overturn it.
Right. There's nothing in those views that would be conclusive to overturn the field call.
So therefore, the play would not be confirmed. It would stand. Let's take a look from this angle. Again, it appears to hit his arm and bounce right into his arms.
But we have all been mystified by things we've seen over the recent years in the college football review system.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. California is charged with their first timeout, and they will have no further challenges during the game.
Yep, that's it. You get in college, you do get, and I referenced this early, you do get 1 challenge per game.
Yes.
For the coaches in college football. And from everything we saw, that's the right call.
Yes. And you know, did it confirm the call? No, but it didn't overturn the call either.
I don't blame Jeff Tedford for challenging either, do you? I mean,
not at that point in the game, you have to do it. You're absolutely right, Ted. You have to do it.
That's a significant enough play. The disappointment for Jeff Tedford is the booth should have done that. He should not have been forced to use a timeout to challenge that call.
And again, you referenced that play in the first quarter. You're absolutely right. That's something he'll go to the league and say, hey, come on. Everybody saw that ball bounce in the first quarter.
Waiting, officials are. Mike Stoops had a question. He walked on the field to get some explanation from Michael Batlin, the referee. Now ready to go from the Cal 47. Antolin, and there's a good hit. Coming up, another big one. We've seen Sidquan Thompson. A couple of those kind of decisive stops for Cal.
Yeah, and what we talked about with Shane Vereen, the falling forward, getting a yard, right there again with Antolin. He was stopped well short and managed to get himself 3.5 yards. So give him the credit for add that extra effort as well.
Change of personnel in for Arizona. And Cal matches now on the defensive side on 2nd and 7.
Arizona has 2 offenses, a 2-back offense and a 4-wide offense. And they go to the 4-wide.
Pressure on Foles, but he gets the pass off. And down to the 32 of California goes David Douglas. And that's well done by Foles with 2 blue shirts in his face.
Yeah, with a little scat route out of the backfield by Antolin. Foles will look there first. That opens up the backside hole behind the linebacker to get that ball in there to David Douglas.
The longest field goal that Alex Zendejas of Arizona has kicked this year is 37. So keep that in mind here in these final 3 minutes.
Well, Arizona definitely wants to eat some clock now. They want to run the ball, but they've got to get the first downs and eat some clock now with only a little less than 3 minutes to go.
Antolin gets inside the 30. Zendejas has only tried 1 field goal longer than 40 this year.
Well, I think if you're Arizona, obviously you're looking for the end zone. But you also have to be very conscious of the time. field position and where you're at.
Zendejas, who's made one in this game from 36. Second and 7, Arizona. Antolin, good yardage to the 25. It'll leave third down. Almost 3. So now California needing to preserve time, and they use their second stop. 2:06 to play.
I'm Bill Patrick. Coming up on the Craftsman postgame show, I'm joined once again by Roland Williams and Christian Fourier. We'll analyze this Pac-10 matchup. We'll see if TCU could continue its bid as a BCS buster. And, of course, we'll have highlights of the rest of today's college football action. Ted?
All right, Bill. A first of 4 steps for Mike Stoops and the Arizona Wildcats. They hope would lead them to a dream. Their first ever Rose Bowl. And they've got 2 minutes and change here to try to cash in and take the lead back at California. During the timeout, Nick Grigsby, the injured running back, ran on the field, went in the huddle, and talked to his team. He's not on the game, but he ran in during the timeout. Greg Nwoko is in as a back. And the play does not get off. It's stopped. Third and 3.
Mike Stoops called a timeout.
Timeout.
Very fired up on the sideline.
Arizona, that's their first charge timeout. Timer, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
That was fascinating, wasn't it, Glenn? During the timeout, that Nick Grigsby ran out into the huddle and gave a pep talk to his team, even though he's not going to play on the down.
And you see what's happening. Stoops is very upset. He's talking to the coaching staff because obviously there's a problem with personnel and or formation combinations. They didn't have the right personnel for the formation or vice versa, and so they had to call that timeout, and that really upset Mike Stoops there because what you're doing is now allowing Cal even more. I know the clock was stopped, but even more time to get what they need to do done.
And Arizona's right now missing their running back, Lewis.
At this critical time, Ted, here's Keola Antolin sitting on the bench, and you see the training staff around him. They've had his arms out. They've done some testing there, but right now still talking to him. But with that body position, that body language is telling me that Antolin is in some sort of discomfort, some sort of pain, so he is not on the field here with 2:06 to go.
And remember, Arizona already missing Grigsby again, 1,100-yard runner last year, 7.5 per carry this year. He's dressed tonight but has not played. And now Antolin, his replacement, is out. And facing this crucial, and you can see how third downs have been significant tonight. Arizona so good this year.
Well, they do have Greg Nwoko, a powerful back, and they have used as many as 4 running backs in games this year, so they've got experience.
They're in the 4 wideout set, 3 of them tight on the right side. Bowles batted down, caught his own.
He can't throw it. That's a penalty.
Though. Bowles made a terrible mistake, and that may cost them field goal position.
Yes, a huge mistake. The ball's tipped. He's got to know he's got to run forward. He can't throw the ball. That'll bring them back. It'll knock them out of field position. They're going to have to go for this. Or, I mean, interesting. Or take a long kick.
I don't know that I've seen this in a long time.
Illegal forward pass by the offense. 2 passes are in the same down. 5 yards from the spot of the foul. It includes a loss of down.
That is a
4th down.
Destructive mistake by Nick Foles.
Yeah, and watch Cal's defense. Picket fence goes up. That's big. Alu knocks it down. Now Foles has to know he's just got to run forward. Try to get a yard or 2. Do whatever you can. They've put themselves in a real hole here. They've back 5 yards. That puts them at the 30-yard line.
Wow.
It's a 47 or 8-yard kick.
They haven't marked the ball yet. I'm sort of waiting to see where they spot this from the spot of the foul.
Oh, it's a spot foul.
It's 5 yards from the spot of the foul plus loss of down. Now that's all the way back to the 39-yard line. That's a 14-yard loss from the previous line of scrimmage. And you could just tell, looking at Nick Foles, he didn't know the rule.
No.
He didn't know.
And that's a rule that it's it's inexcusable not to know it, but you understand why he doesn't. It's not something that comes up very often.
So Arizona has to go on 4th and 17. To the middle, broken up. It was a first down yardage pass. They went to the stick, and Brett Johnson slid in front of Dave Roberts.
Well, they went to the stick, but that's exactly where Cal's sitting in their zone defense back there. Nothing's getting in there. Great job by Cal putting themselves right where they had to be defensively. Nick Foles is going to see a guy come in. Now, as he looks up, there he is. He spots Terrence Miller. But that's exactly where the defense is sitting. Brett Johnson comes up, big job knocking that ball away.
I'm just sitting here, Glenn, thinking 2 years ago we were here with Versus, and California had a chance to be #1 in the country, and Kevin Riley, trying as a freshman, trying hard to make something happen.
That's right.
Had just a brain cramp and ran the ball with no timeouts remaining. Cal lost its chance to win the game, and now he's on the other side watching Nick Foles, and here's Marine with a punctuation mark. Touchdown, Cal. 61 yards. And tonight it's Kevin Riley watching as the opposing quarterback makes a mistake that took his team out of a chance.
And 2 losses by Arizona, 1 at Washington with a fluke ball off a foot, and now this one, Nick Foles is having his trials and his tribulations.
Well, now it's not done yet. The extra point is not made. So Arizona actually is still alive. That's huge.
It is a huge play. We'll get a look at the touchdown, though. Shane Vereen saying, put it on my shoulders. Comes up, makes a great cut right there. Cam Nelson up in the box, can't get back to him. No matter who's trying, Joe Perkins there, nobody has enough speed to catch Shane Vereen. He says, put it on my shoulders. I want the ball. That's a sombrero run right there. That's when you say, put that hat on me, and Shane Vereen took it.
Now, you know what, you can, well, let's tell you about next week first on Versus. Then I'll say there's all sorts of interesting things you can discuss right now in this game. But next Saturday, we have a triple header on Versus. San Diego State and Utah. That's 3:30 Eastern. Then, the 112th meeting, one of the great rivalries in football, California and Stanford in prime time. And, of course, it all kicks off with maybe college football's best. There's so many great ones, but is there anything more significant than the game? Harvard and Yale, and you'll see that at noon Eastern. A huge college football Saturday next week on Versus. All right, Giorgio Tavecchio will kick off. But the missed extra point by Cal means Arizona actually still has a chance in this game.
Certainly a 4 and 2 points puts them right in the game.
And they'll have enough time, even with a muff pickup here, although it's finally run back. Arizona's Nick Booth, but a flag comes flying in.
No,
3 flags.
5 flags. They're everywhere.
Flags everywhere, and a crazy sequence of plays.
I think every official on the field threw his hanky. There must have been something egregious happen right there.
During the return, holding 9 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
But Arizona's still going to have decent field position as Perkins holds. But now let's take a look again at this missed extra point that keeps Arizona alive. Brock Manchin just dropped the snap.
Yeah, good snap. It's right there.
But you think back, when California scored in the 3rd quarter to go up 15-10, they went for 2. And that's one of the great debates to me in football. Do you go for 2 when you're leading in the game in the 3rd quarter? Well, Arizona makes a difference.
Arizona, though, went for 2 as well.
That's right.
And so
Nick Grigsby is in the game for Arizona. Bowles over the middle. The other question you have is Shane Vereen's run. Now, I know it's impossible to tell a guy to do this, but in Shane Vereen, when you run the ball down to the 10-yard line, do you go down? Arizona has 1 timeout left. You, in theory, can run the game out.
You can, but you don't tell a guy not to score a touchdown thinking you're going to miss the next play. I know you know it. It's so hard for these.
It's fascinating.
You can go all around arguing these points.
But Arizona has life. You've given Foles one chance for redemption. Going deep for DeLaShawn Dean. And it's just broken up at the 5-yard line. Brett Johnson on the cover for Cal.
Mike Stoops run down. I think he wanted a penalty. I think he wanted interference from what we've seen tonight. He wanted something likewise. Hard to tell. Ball's there.
All you know is Nick Foles loves this. Just have a chance after the mistake in the previous possession. Just give me one more chance.
All you can ask for. You're right.
And Arizona, Nick Grigsby is in the game. The first time he's played tonight. Arizona 47-yard line. They need 8. And now, big trouble. Flag down, which will stop the clock, and that's actually a benefit.
Yes, it is.
For Arizona, it'll give a chance to at least get back to the line here. Cameron Jordan sacked. Jeff Tedford declines the penalty, obviously, but the benefit here is that Arizona can get back to the line.
Well, if you take a look at this replay, watch Nick Foles to the right. There's going to be a little bit of a stunt. Adam Grant gets picked. Nick Foles just kind of sees him. Nick Grigsby sees him. Only get a hand out. Remember, he's got a bad shoulder, so he doesn't really want to step in there and hit a big guy like that.
So a timeout here taken by Arizona to try to regroup. And of course, the one thing that Mike Stoops hinted to us last night was that they do want to be sure that Nick Grigsby can play next week. They know they've got another 3 big games coming following tonight, rather than push Grigsby tonight. And Mike Stoops, to be completely, didn't use those words, but that was sort of where he was going with his conversation.
And you look at the standings, Arizona will be 4-2 in the Pac-10 if they do not win this game, and that'll put them on par with Stanford and Oregon State. Now, they've beaten both Stanford and Oregon State already.
Yes.
So a win over Oregon still puts them in a position to win the Pac-10.
Good call, Glenn. Stanford with that win today, you see they've got ahead of, they've already got the 6 league wins, and I have never seen more Cal people in my life happy for Stanford as I did today when they were watching here in disbelief at how Stanford was dismantling USC. So Foles has 37 seconds, 2 plays to get 20 to stay alive.
And you said it best, 2 plays. That's how you have to look at it. You take 10 or 12 here, get a quick snap and go.
Grigsby to run to got to go to the sideline and does. So he only got 5, but he had to get out of bounds. So now it'll be 4th down. They'll need 15.
Now, remember that they're going to be sitting at the peg, so you either go short and hope for a broken tackle, or you go long. You take your shot here, because you can't throw to the peg. They'll be sitting there.
Gave an extra yard on the mark, so it's actually 14 is what Arizona needs on their last gas period. Turner and Douglas go left. DeLaShawn Dean is right. Dave Roberts is slot right. Got to get to the Cal 43. Pressure. Foles in trouble. Foles is finally brought down, and that will do it for Cal. Cameron Jordan, their best pass rusher. 2 sacks in the final drive.
And he's a guy that shows up on film, and he sure showed up on the last couple of drives.
And you got to give Cal credit when we alluded to this earlier. 2 years ago, California's team disintegrated in a season. And Jeff Tedford this year, and he really does, you follow the lead of your star. And this year, unlike 2 years ago, the star this year, Jahvid Best, is a guy, Jeff Tedford's all team. His teammates love him and respect him so much. And this California team has stayed together after those 2 big losses.
And it shows when Jahvid Best was hurt, how much that team rallied around him at that point. That's how they were feeling, and they came to play tonight.
And California will go to a bowl game for the 7th straight year. And there was a long time around these parts you never thought you'd say that. For Arizona, though, as you said, well, Glenn, they still go home for a big game with Oregon, and a win next Saturday keeps them very much alive.
They still have it all in front of them. They beat Oregon, they beat Arizona State, they beat USC, and they go to the Rose Bowl. So their season is not over.
California sets up what could be a very entertaining big game here on Versus next Saturday against Stanford. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Ted, thanks so much. Well, Jeff, what do you make of the way this game closed out? It was awfully crazy at the end.
It was a wild one. I can't tell you how proud I am of our kids. Defensively, they just played their hearts out all night long, did a great job. Arizona's got a really potent offense. Our defense did an awesome job.
Couple things stand out. Tavecchio really kept you in early, but how about Shane Vereen and the way he ran the ball, grinded it out, and then that big touchdown here at the end?
He did, hanging on to the football and grinding it out, getting us in position to make that last field goal, and then obviously the big run, you know, kind of put it a little bit out of reach, but it was never over.
All right, so how does this win set you up for the big game against Stanford? We'll have it right here on Versus next week.
Well, that's always a great rivalry. It's a great tradition, a great rivalry. Stanford's playing awesome, so we really have our work cut out for us, but we're going to enjoy this one and then get after them tomorrow.
All right, Jeff, congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Lewis.
Ted?
All kinds of machinations at work. It'll be a heated week in Northern California with Stanford getting ready for Cal, and they'll be rooting for Arizona to knock Oregon off next Saturday night as we see the clinching run by Shane Vereen, 61 yards. Our Miller highlight, common sense play of the game.
And then it was. Shane Vereen comes up huge with 159 yards rushing. A whole ton of them on that one. Boy, put the sombrero on Shane Vereen.
He ended up running for 159 tonight, filling in for Jahvid best. So California defeats Arizona tonight. Next Saturday on Versus, a fabulous triple header. Look at the rivalry games, Harvard, Yale, and Cal Stanford in prime time, highlighting a triple header of college football. More at Versus.com. For Glenn Parker, Lewis Johnson, and our entire Versus crew, Ted Robinson, thanks for being with us in Berkeley. And now, back to Versus College Football Central and the Craftsman postgame show.
All right, Ted Robinson, thanks a million. Everybody.